Chapter 748. You're leaving just like that? You don't want to look around anymore? It's not easy to come here. Isn't your 10 million wasted? Xiaochen also saw Zheng Xinxiang's disappointment. That can't be helped. The deposit is not refundable. Zheng Xinxiang said helplessly. I originally thought that the money I brought should be enough. I asked around, and the price of the few thousand-year purple snow lotuses that appeared before was only around 100 million. There wasn't such a high price, so the money I brought was enough. Who would have thought that such a thing would happen? Sigh, it's my fault. I shouldn't have said that. So that's how it is. Xiaochen nodded. He had a good impression of Zheng Xinxiang. So he thought for a moment and said, I do have some medical skills. You can leave me the sex address. When I'm free, I'll go and take a look at your master. Who knows, there might be a way. Ah, really? Zheng Xinxiang didn't doubt Xiaochen at this moment. Instead, he said in surprise, That's great. Thank you, young Hero Chang. I'll leave the address to you. As he spoke, Zheng Xinxiang took out a paper card. It was his business card. The position of the acting leader of Greenstone sect was printed on it. It was quite exquisite. However, with his current situation, he rarely gave business cards to people. After all, Greenstone sect only existed in name. Okay, since you trust me, I'll definitely visit. Xiaochen didn't expect Zheng Xinxiang to trust him so much. If it were someone else, he would have doubted and asked. But Zheng Xinxiang didn't and directly gave him the address. Little did he know that Zheng Xinxiang felt that Xiaochen had no need to lie to him, because he was the acting leader of a declining sect. What could he lie to? Moreover, Xiaochen was so powerful. He was a devil general. What was the point of lying to him? Then I'll wait for young Hero Chang. I'll leave first. Zheng Xinxiang said with his fists clasped. At this time, the first half of the auction ended. He got up and left the venue. After resting for half an hour, the auction resumed. Smiling Mithria saw that Zheng Xinxiang didn't come back and couldn't help but be stunned. He thought that this kid ran fast. He wanted to teach him a lesson after the auction ended. However, it was useless even if he ran. The monk could run, but the temple couldn't. The half-hour break is over. I believe everyone can't wait for Xiaofei's arrival, right? Xiaofei walked to the front of the stage with sexy steps. Under the spotlight, she changed into another set of clothes. The only regret was that her face could not be seen clearly. But thinking about it, it wouldn't be too bad. Sometimes the unseen was the best. The person in charge of the auction knew this principle very well. With Xiaofei around, the value of the auction would be doubled. The surroundings immediately fell silent as soon as Xiaofei spoke, and all of them revealed looks of anticipation. Of course, it was true that they were looking forward to Xiaofei's performance, but it was mostly because every time the auction started, they would bring out the final mysterious auction item. I wonder what it will be this time. Xiaochen didn't know about this. He just looked at Xiaofei in confusion. He didn't understand what everyone was looking at. All right, I won't keep you in suspense anymore. The second half of the auction will officially begin. Xiaofei smiled, and her sexy lips opened and closed, looking very alluring. It's about time for our mysterious auction item to appear. Let us invite. At this time, a staff member appeared on the stage. In his hand was an extremely small and thin jade box. But what good stuff could such a small box contain? Everyone present was very curious, and all of them couldn't take their eyes off it. Many perverted male cultivators, who came for Xiaofei, also turned their attention to the jade box. The spotlight stopped on the staff member's hand. He slowly opened the jade box and inside was a book. What book was this? How could it be worthy of being the final mysterious auction item? Only Xiaochen smiled bitterly. As expected, his 5 poison secret manual had been taken out. I believe everyone can see clearly that this is a secret manual. But what kind of secret manual is it? Xiaofei walked over and gently took out the secret manual from the jade box. She said in surprise, Wow, it's the long-lost 5 poison secret manual. Xiaofei's words caused the whole place to fall silent for a short while. Then, there was a burst of discussion in sighs. It's really the 5 poison secret manual? Isn't that the special skill of the poison sect? It's long been lost. Why did it appear again? It can't be. Is it real or fake? It's an imposter, right? How could such a thing suddenly appear? And if someone got their hands on it, wouldn't they be stupid not to keep it for themselves and auction it instead? Sure. I think you're the stupid one. What if this was taken out by some big sect? Aren't you courting death? I didn't say anything. All sorts of discussions came from the audience. Xiaofei cooperated and didn't say anything. She allowed the audience to exclaim. Only by doing this could the value of the 5 poison secret manual be brought out. Otherwise, if it was something that no one was interested in, how could it be called a mysterious auction item? Now, I will announce the starting price of this 5 poison secret manual. The starting price is 500 million, and each increment must be no less than 50 million. Once Xiaofei said this, everyone present was shocked again. Even if it was a mysterious auction item, it wasn't this expensive in the past. 500 million starting price? This was a sky-high price, and each increment must be no less than 50 million. This condition was also very harsh. But thinking about it carefully, if this thing was real, then it was really worth this price. Wait, how can this thing be proven to be real? The one who spoke was the arrogant young master. His sect had nothing to do with poison. He had only asked this question to make his presence known, and talked to Xiaofei a few more times. Of course, he didn't rule out the possibility of his sect wanting to buy it and study it. Even if it was a righteous sect, in front of a secret manual that could sweep away the entire Jianghu. The name of a righteous sect was not important. Hehe. I also know that some people might ask this question. Then, before the auction, I will open the seal of this 5 poison secret manual and read out the contents of the first 2 pages. As for whether it is real or not, everyone can judge for themselves. Xiaofei smiled and picked up the 5 poison secret manual from the jade box of the staff member. She opened it on the spot and read out. The 5 poison secret manual is. The audience was so quiet that even a needle could be heard. Everyone present was an elite of their sect. Whether this secret manual was fake or not, they could roughly guess in their hearts after listening to it. Although they didn't come from the path of refining poison, there were many similarities in the path of martial arts. Alright, that's it for now. You can start bidding now. Xiaofei put the 5 poison secret manual back and looked around. 600 million. To everyone's surprise, the man in the black bamboo hat who wanted to buy the long-distance talisman was the first to bid. Moreover, he increased the price by 100 million, even skipping the 50 million mark. Every time this man bid, he would always be very generous. However, after a short moment of surprise, someone else bid 650 million. This was a devil sect. 800 million. This time, it was Cheng Zhongfan from the Quishan sect who bid. The devil sect was most similar to the cultivation of poison. Therefore, most of the bidders were from the devil sect. Only the background of the man in the black bamboo hat was unknown. 1 billion. The man in the black bamboo hat bid again, as if the money in his hands was not money at all, but just a number. 1 billion. The man from the devil sect continued to bid. 2 billion. Anyway, Cheng Zhongfan was rich and overbearing to spend the money of his sect. He didn't feel the pinch at all. Just now, his senior brother had already told him that he could buy anything within 2 billion. Therefore, he was at ease at this moment. 5 billion. The way the man in the black bamboo hat increased the price made everyone present speechless. He was just short of announcing in public that he was determined to get it. 2 billion. At this time, another group of dark horses appeared. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. It turned out to be the people from the 10,000 Medicine Valley. Treating people, saving people, selling medicine, and buying the 5 poison secrets might not be for cultivation, but for research. However, his bid got rid of many competitors. Cheng Zhongfan could only back out. His senior brother just said that it was within 2 billion. Now that it had arrived, he could only turn his head and look at his senior brother again. Forget it. His senior brother shook his head. We don't specialize in research. Even if we buy it, we might not be able to cultivate it. When the time comes, we will easily get into trouble. Although we are the #1 sect in the devil sect, it's not worth it if someone covets it because it's useless. Yes, I understand. Cheng Zhongfan nodded. It seemed that his senior brother meant to buy it, if it was not too expensive. If it was too expensive, then forget it. If it was too expensive, then it would be a double loss. And the devil's sect who had previously bid also stopped at this moment. Because 2 billion was not something that any sect could take out. It had to be settled on the spot, and could not be delayed. Therefore, even if some sects could take out the money, they couldn't come up with it in a short time. 5 billion. The man in the black bamboo hat spoke again. He didn't say much. After bidding, he shut his mouth. 3 billion. The man in the black bamboo hat bid again. 5 billion. The man in the black bamboo hat said unhurriedly. The people from the 10,000 Medicine Valley hesitated for a moment and gave up. It was true that the 10,000 Medicine Valley was rich, but it was really not worthwhile to take out more than 5 billion to buy a secret book that couldn't be used for cultivation. Even Xiao Chen himself didn't expect that it would be sold at a high price of 5 billion. It was valuable. The middle-aged man said that it was about 1 billion. It seemed that he had underestimated it. Of course, this was also because of the appearance of the nouveau riche, the man in the black bamboo hat. Without him, it would be impossible to have such a high price. Now, Xiao Chen really wanted to shout 4 billion. However, in the end, he didn't dare to. If the man in the black bamboo hat wasn't a nouveau riche, he would be ruined. 5 billion going once, 5 billion going twice, 5 billion going thrice. Sold. Xiao Fei was also a little shocked. The transaction price this time, 5 billion, could be said to be the largest single transaction price in the history of the auction. It was unprecedented. Of course, the value of this 5 poisoned secret book was also the highest. If it was real, then the person who cultivated it might be able to sweep the martial arts world. Chapter 749. The man in black bamboo hat didn't look at Xiao Fei at all. His eyes were fixed on the jade box in the hands of the staff. When the staff came, the man in black bamboo hat directly took out his bank card, completed the formalities, and took the 5 poisoned secret book. He flipped through a few pages in his hand and put it into his pocket. However, he didn't take his hand out immediately. Instead, he fumbled for something. After a while, he took out a talisman. It was the long-distance talisman that he had bought at the auction. He started to activate the long-distance talisman. The next moment, a white light flashed, and the man in black bamboo hat disappeared from the venue. This situation caused all the cultivators present to be dumbfounded, because everyone was looking at the man in black bamboo hat. After all, this guy was so generous that he bought a 5 poisoned secret book with 5 billion. However, they didn't expect that this man would use the long-distance talisman in front of everyone and disappear directly. Until this moment, everyone understood that this man must have planned this. Or, he didn't plan it before. But after seeing the 5 poisoned secret book, he planned to escape. Everyone understood the possible consequences of this thing. If someone tried to rob it after the auction, it would inevitably cause great trouble for the man in black bamboo hat. Therefore, it was better for him to leave first. In this way, no one could find him. Although it was a little impolite for the auction host to do this, he was a big client after all. The auction wouldn't care much since he had spent 5 billion. Moreover, Xiao Chen secretly guessed that someone must have secretly tipped off the man in black bamboo hat before the auction. So the man in black bamboo hat bought the long-distance talisman in advance. Otherwise, how could there be such a coincidence? Of course, Xiao Chen also understood this. It was understandable for the auction host to inform potential clients, who might buy this kind of collection in advance, so that the client could prepare some money in advance. After all, it was good for both the client and the auction host. The more money prepared, the more money the final auction price would be. Therefore, Xiao Chen was happier. Moreover, Xiao Chen admired the man in black bamboo hat's approach very much. He was really a talent. In this way, it saved a lot of trouble for Xiao Chen. Everyone's attention would be on the man in black bamboo hat, who had bought the 5 poisoned secret book, and no one would care about who provided the secret book. Even if they thought about it later, Xiao Chen had already left. Xiao Chen wanted to thank the man in black bamboo hat for making such a farce, which made him so happy. Well, let's continue the auction. Although it's impolite to leave midway, Our auction house doesn't restrict auctioneers from leaving midway. What if they have something important to say? Xiao Fei had to admit that it was Xiao Fei who could control the atmosphere, the man in of the black bamboo hat. He had to admit that Xiao Fei was very good at stirring up the atmosphere. The influence of the man in the bamboo hat had completely disappeared. Everyone's attention was shifted to her. With her graceful figure and charming smile, the mood became fanatical again. A few more items were sold at a high price. Xiao Chun was getting a little impatient from waiting. He wanted to leave after buying the meteoric iron from outer space. However, the auction was about to end, and he still hadn't appeared. He was really anxious. The next item is the last auction item. It is also one of the finale items. Xiao Fei said to everyone with a smile. I believe that many people have already guessed what it is. Yes, we have released the news of this auction item in advance. It is the meteoric iron. This meteoric iron was originally the first item to be auctioned in the middle of the auction. However, it was pushed down by the 5 Poisons secret book that Xiao Chun took out at the last moment. If Xiao Chun knew about this situation, he would probably regret it. However, he didn't know that the 5 Poisons secret book was so important. In his opinion, how important could the thing that Xia Qili wanted be? He didn't expect the result to be like this. However, Xia Qili's information network was not to be underestimated. Unexpectedly, she was able to inquire about this information. However, there was no time to think about this. After all, the purpose of this trip had come. Xiao Chun wanted to focus on winning this meteoric iron. I don't need to say more about the function of the meteoric iron. It can be used to forge weapons for martial artists. This was very difficult in the past. However, with today's technology, smelting it is not a problem. Xiao Fei briefly introduced the function of the meteoric iron. Then she smiled and said, the starting price of the meteoric iron is 50 million. Each increase must be no less than 20 million, 70 million, 100 million, 150 million. The price of the meteoric iron soared. Xiao Chun didn't join the bidding at the beginning, because it was meaningless to do so. He didn't want to bother. So, he waited until the last moment when there were few people competing. Of course, Xiao Chun didn't bid, but he observed secretly. Among these people who participated in the bidding, most of them were from the righteous sections. There were few people from the demonic sections. This showed that this kind of hard weapon was very important for martial arts cultivation, but demonic cultivators didn't seem to care about this. Brother Yang, when are we going to make our move? Wang Chake asked in a low voice. He knew that although he had defected to Xiao Chun, he would still be the one bidding. At most, Xiao Chun would not abandon him. However, these risky things couldn't be done by Xiao Chun and others, right? Then what was the point of defecting? No hurry, wait a little longer. You don't have any psychological pressure. When you finish bidding and walk out of the venue, I will disguise myself as someone else and snatch the auction item from your hands. At that time, you will not be noticed. After you go down the mountain, find a place to stay first, and I will meet you again. Xiao Chun instructed. Then he turned to look at Song Huawu and Xia Shibin, saying, the few of you will go together. When the time comes, Wang Chake's things will be snatched away. Furthermore, there are many of you. No one will make things difficult for you. Xiao Chun had already planned it. The escape method of the black man in the bamboo hat inspired him, so that people would ignore the original owner of the 5 Poisons secret book. But it was impossible to chase the black man in the bamboo hat. When Wang Chake auctioned the extraterrestrial meteoric iron, his physical characteristics would be firmly remembered. No matter where he ran, he might encounter people who coveted it, and he would be blocked by many parties. But if it was snatched away by Xiao Chun, it would be different. Xiao Chun would appear with a new face. Anyway, he could disguise himself as anyone. At that time, only the people nearby would see that Wang Chake was snatched away by him, and the others would not know. When he ran away, even if they wanted to chase him, these people would not be able to do anything. Everyone nodded. Although it was risky for Xiao Chun to run away, they also knew that at this time, Xiao Chun's words were orders, and they could not be questioned. They had to follow it to be safe. Finally, as the price soared, the people bidding gradually decreased, and there were only 2 left. What Xiao Chen did not expect was that it was actually the long-faced cultivator and the smiling Mithria from before. These two people were sworn enemies. Once they were at each other's throats, there would be no end to it. It suddenly gave Xiao Chen a headache. At this moment, the price had soared to 500 million, which was already a high price for the extraterrestrial meteoric iron. But none of them had the intention to give up. 600 million. The price was still refreshing, and it was the smiling Mithria who made the bid. Do what you want. 600 million it is. You just like to be a sucker. The long-faced cultivator curled his lips and gave up bidding. So what? The smiling Mithria sneered. Wang Chake, make your move, Xiao Chen said. 620 million. Wang Chake raised his paddle and bid. Huh. The smiling Mithria was taken aback, and then his face became extremely gloomy. His gaze swept over Wang Chake, and he found that it was exactly where Zheng Xinxiang of the Greenstone sect was sitting. They must be a group. Motherf *Ker Greenrock sect. Are all your people going against me? Are you trying to get back at me? Are you deliberately raising the price? Fine, I give up. I'll let you spend 620 million to buy it. Let's see if you can afford it. From the smiling Mithria's point of view, Zheng Xinxiang wanted to buy the 1,000-year purple snow lotus, but he gave up bidding because he did not have enough money. He was unwilling, so he pretended to leave first, and then found a friend to sit in his seat to make trouble for him. He did not believe that such an unknown small sect could spend 620 million to buy a piece of extraterrestrial meteoric iron. This was completely illogical. The smiling Mithria was from the Joyful clan, so he had no use for this extraterrestrial meteoric iron. Could it be used as a prop for dual cultivation? Wasn't that bullsh *T? He participated in the bidding because he saw the long-faced cultivator make a move, so he could not help but jump in to make trouble. But now that he could cheat the Greenrock sect, why not? So he sneered and said, Fine, since the Greenrock sect wants to buy it, I'll give it to you. I don't know what you're going to do when you go back. Don't tell me you want to be the sea stabilizer? Xiao Chen was stunned. At first, he did not understand why the smiling Mithria suddenly mentioned the Greenrock sect. But when he saw Wang Chake's seat, he immediately understood. It was Zheng Xinxiang's seat previously. The smiling Mithria obviously thought that Wang Chake was with Zheng Xinxiang. His words could not be said to be without poison. Even if they could not snatch the extraterrestrial meteoric iron from Wang Chake in this auction, the monk could run, but the temple could not. When the time came, wouldn't it be easy to go directly to the Greenrock sect to find him? Xiao Chen did not expect this inadvertent action to implicate the Greenrock sect. Fortunately, he had thought of a countermeasure beforehand. After the auction, he would snatch the extraterrestrial meteoric iron from Wang Chake's hands. Otherwise, these people would really think that the Greenrock sect had won the auction. Smiling Tiger, you're quite good, huh? Damn it, if I don't harm you, I'll be letting down my title as a hedonistic young master. Just you wait, Xiao Chen thought to himself. Chapter 750. 620 million going once, 620 million going twice, 620 million going thrice. Sold. While Xiao Chen was thinking about it, Xiao Fei had already finalized the deal. The extraterrestrial meteoric iron became Wang Chake's. Because it was the last auction item, many people got up and prepared to leave after it ended. Some lecherous cultivators surrounded Xiao Fei. It was true that they coveted Xiao Fei, but what they wanted more was to win the beauty and build a relationship with the auction. This auction was held by a mysterious organization in the martial arts world. It was said that they were very powerful and financially strong, but no one knew which force, sect, or family it was. Even if they knew, they would not spread it. In short, these cultivators were dreaming of marrying a fair, rich, and beautiful woman. Xiao Chen was naturally not interested. He accompanied Wang Chake and the staff to swipe their cards to get the extraterrestrial meteoric iron. Can we go to the office? There are too many people here. Xiao Chen suddenly said. Oh, that's fine too. The staff was stunned. Generally, only those who had submitted the items would go to the office to get the money. Those who bought things usually swiped their cards on the spot. However, this was the last order for Xiao Chen and the others. The scene was indeed very noisy. so this proposal could not be said to be unreasonable. The staff took Xiao Chun and the others to the office. Wang Chake took out the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's card. He had already contacted the Supernatural Investigation Bureau through text messages. They had already transferred 620 million, so the procedure was successfully completed. Thank you for your patronage. The staff handed the extraterrestrial meteoric iron box to Wang Chake. Wang Chake held it in his hand, but since Xiao Chun did not say he would leave, he naturally would not leave directly. Seeing that these people had no intention of leaving, the staff could not help but be stunned. He asked, "Is there anything else?" "Yes, it's like this," Xiao Chun said. "I had an auction item before. Can we settle it together? This is the receipt." As he spoke, Xiao Chun took out the receipt. He didn't look for the middle-aged man from before, because that would be too conspicuous. He reckoned that someone with ulterior motives would figure out who went to the office to collect the money and analyze who took out the 5 Poisons secret manual. "Oh, this is no problem." The staff took the receipt and couldn't help but be surprised. It turned out to be the sender of the 5 Poisons secret book. However, although he was shocked as a staff member, he knew what to say and what not to say. He just said happily, "Wait a moment, let me verify it." As he spoke, he scanned the QR code and watermark on it, as well as the special identification information to verify that the receipt was real. He then said, "I've already transferred the auction proceeds, after deducting 20% of the commission, to the bank card you left behind. You can check it now." Even if Xiao Chen's receipt was real, it couldn't be transferred at will. It had to be transferred to the account that was left when the auction was first sent. This was also to prevent someone from stealing or robbing the auction receipt. In this way, no matter who came to exchange, the money would still be transferred to the original account. "Thank you." Xiao Chen's mobile phone received a notification that the money had been transferred to the account. He thanked the staff and left the office with Wang Chake and the others. Xiao Chun and the others went in and out of the office, but no one thought much about it. After all, Wang Chake was holding the extraterrestrial meteoric iron box in his hand. Everyone knew that they were going to handle this procedure. As for the middle-aged man's office, there were indeed a few people sneaking around the door, but they didn't go in. Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. Fortunately, he had exchanged here. If he had gone in, he might really have been suspected. They walked forward quietly until they were out of the auction hall. Although some people noticed them, no one dared to make a move. "Let's go to the restroom," said Xiao Chen. They did not question him at all. They walked to the public restroom on one side of the hall. After they entered, Xiao Chen looked around and confirmed that nobody else was here. Therefore he immediately said, "I will pretend to be the smiling Mithreya and rob you later. Wang Chake, you will pretend to chase after me and shout something to let everybody know that you have been robbed." Yes, of course. Wang Chake was extremely grateful. He knew that Xiao Chen was trying to save him. Otherwise, if everybody's attention was on him, he would not have a good time. Now that the auction item in his hand had been stolen, who would care about him? While talking, Xiao Chen entered an independent compartment and turned himself into the smiling Mithreya. Right now, Xiao Chen was no longer a beginner cultivator in the refinement stage. He was an actual expert in the building foundation stage. Therefore, his entire body was within the range of his transformation. In the blink of an eye, he had become exactly the same as the smiling Mithreya. Even someone as meticulous as Jean Bebe would not have recognized him. Wang Chake pretended to pee on the side, while Song Huau stood at the door of the washroom and waited. Xia Shibin also pretended to be nonchalant as he lit a cigarette and leisurely walked around. After a while, footsteps came from the door of the restroom. It was 2 cultivators who had come to the restroom. They were obviously dazed when they saw Wang Chake. He was the guy who had won the last piece of the meteoric iron. They both remembered him. However, the 2 of them were from a small evil sect. The meteoric iron was useless to them, and they were not very strong. Naturally, they would not think of robbing him. They merely took a few glances at him. Right then, the door of one of the cubicles was suddenly opened, and a fat man rushed out. Without saying anything, he grabbed the auction item in Wang Chake's hand and ran away. Because Wang Chake was focused on peeing with one hand, and only one of his hands was free, he did not grab it very tightly. Therefore, Xiao Chen's attack succeeded. Aha! Robbery! Wang Chake turned pale with fright. He did not even have time to pull up his pants, and rushed out to chase after the smiling Mithriya. Half of his pants was still out. Song Huawu secretly spat and turned her head, secretly cursing Wang Chake for being so thick-skinned. He even dared to run out like this. It was not that Wang Chake did not want to pull up his pants, but he wanted to act more realistically. Who would care about anything else when being robbed? Even if he had to run naked, he had to chase after it. Xia Shibin also ran out with a cigarette in his mouth. He pointed at the smiling Mithriya in front and shouted, F***ck your grandma. You can't compete in the auction, so you want to rob it openly? Everyone helped to stop him. Outside the restroom, a few cultivators who were coveting the meteoric iron saw the smiling Mithriya rushing out with a jade box in his hand. They were stunned for a moment. When they heard Wang Chake and Xia Shibin's shouts behind them, they immediately understood. However, at this time, Xiao Chen had already run far away. It was not easy to chase after him. Moreover, these people were not fools. The smiling Mithriya of the Joyful clan was famous. He was a demon general level expert who had been famous for a long time, and was not a weak one. All these years he seldom made a move. No one knew if his strength had improved further now. Who would dare to act rashly at this moment? Wang Chake, Xia Shibin, and Song Huawu frantically ran all the way forward. Wang Chake's crotch was still hanging halfway, and he had not put it back. The scene was very comical, but none of the cultivators present found it funny. Their attention was focused on the smiling Mithriya. Everyone had different thoughts. Those cultivators who had designs on Wang Chake could not help but be disappointed. The smiling Mithriya had snatched the item away. In that case, they basically had no hope. They were not a match for the smiling Mithriya. Wasn't it courting death to intercept him? Moreover, the people from the Joyful clan were very evil and ruthless. They would not do things that would cost their lives if they failed to rob. Xiao Chen exerted his speed to the limit and ran desperately. However, he was surprised to find that other than Wang Chake and the others chasing after him, there were no other cultivators chasing after him. While he was puzzled, he roughly figured it out. This smiling Mithriya was probably a ruthless person. It was no wonder that when this person opened his mouth at the auction, only the long-faced cultivator dared to. Damn. Just as Xiao Chen thought of the long-faced cultivator, the long-faced cultivator appeared. Xiao Chen was so shocked that he almost threw the jade box out. What the heck? I can't be that lucky, right? However, the truth was in front of him. Xiao Chen saw the long-faced cultivator standing in the middle of the road not far away. It was obvious that he was intercepting him. He secretly lamented in his heart. Why was he so unlucky? Of all people, he had to meet this guy. Although Xiao Chen did not know how powerful the long-faced cultivator was, to be able to go against this smiling Mithriya, he was obviously not ordinary. Hee, smiling Mithriya. I really didn't expect you to be doing this kind of robbing business. The long-faced cultivator grinned and mocked. However, you are unlucky to meet me. Leave the item behind. Don't force me to take action against you. Xiao Chen was helpless but had no other choice. No matter how he could fight against enemies of a higher level, or how he had a sure kill method, he had no confidence at all when facing the long-faced cultivator. After hesitating for a while, countless thoughts flashed through Xiao Chen's mind. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, Senior, I am not the smiling Mithriya. I am pretending to be him to frame him. That's really funny, The long-faced cultivator subconsciously wanted to mock and ridicule him. However, after thinking carefully, he paused. Are you telling the truth? Of course it's true. How could this junior dare to lie to senior? Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. You are from the Green Rock sect? The long-faced cultivator suddenly asked. That's right. Xiao Chen knew that it was better to admit that he was from the Green Rock sect. It would be easier for the long-faced cultivator to believe him. However, he was also very strange. This long-faced cultivator seemed to believe him very easily. He had only casually said that he was not the smiling Mithriya, and the other party seemed to believe most of it. Circulate your mental cultivation method and let me see, the long-faced cultivator said. Chapter 751. Yes, Senior. Xiaochen directly activated a fireball technique and smashed it on the roadside. You can go now. The long-faced cultivator suddenly waved his hand. Ah, thank you, Senior. Xiaochen did not expect things to go so smoothly. He said a few words and the long-faced cultivator let him go. But this was a good thing. He did not have time to think about it and continued to run forward. The long-faced cultivator sneered. The smiling Mithria, you have such a day? You've been framed, haven't you? Ha 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 ha. You'll have a good time this time. However, this kid from the Green Rock sect is a bit interesting. The reason why he believed it before was that he knew the smiling Mithria too well. This old rival of his was a person who valued his reputation. If he met him, he would rather fight to the death than lie humbly and say that he was not the smiling Mithria. What's more, asking him to call him Senior. That would really be like the sun rising from the west. This was simply impossible. From the smiling Mithria's prideful behavior at the auction, it could be seen that he was not the kind of person who would give in. Moreover, the fireball technique that Xiaochen activated was not the smiling Mithria's martial technique at all. This guy did not know this kind of martial technique at all, so it could be completely ruled out. Since it was to frame the smiling Mithria, of course, he would cooperate. As for the extraterrestrial meteoric iron, he would not snatch it. The long-faced cultivator was self-confident in his strength and did not bother to rob the younger generation. Of course, it was also because he was more upright and disdained to do so. Not long after Xiaochen ran, Wang Chaik, Xia Shibin, and Song Huo caught up. The long-faced cultivator was stunned when he saw that Wang Chaik's trousers were still hanging down. What's going on? When Wang Chaik and the others saw the long-faced cultivator, they were also shocked. No way. Xiaochen ran this way just now. Didn't that mean that he had already met the long-faced cultivator? In that case, with the grudge between this horse-faced cultivator and the smiling Mithria, wouldn't Xiaochen be in danger? However, they couldn't reveal their thoughts and could only pretend to chase after Huha. Their footsteps were much slower, as they wanted to see if the horse-faced cultivator had a jade box or something like that. However, the horse-faced cultivator had a backpack on him. They were unable to see anything, causing them to feel anxious. When the long-faced cultivator saw the people chasing after them, a smile appeared on his face. If it weren't for Xiaochen's earlier showdown, he naturally wouldn't have been able to guess so much. Now that he saw them slowing down, he immediately understood that they were in cahoots and were putting on an act. He couldn't help but find it a little funny. The people of the Green Rock sect were really talented. They actually used this method to avoid being robbed, and even framed the smiling Mithria. It was really amazing. Not bad, very appetizing. As long as the smiling Mithria could be defeated, the long-faced cultivator would be very happy. Therefore, when he saw that they were nervous, he said for the first time, "He's in front. It's fine. Continue acting." Wang Chaik was stunned. He couldn't help but look at the long-faced cultivator meaningfully. "Senior, you mean? Hee, you know what I mean. Go on." The long-faced cultivator waved his hand. Wang Chaik felt reassured. Seeing how friendly this horse-faced cultivator was, he knew that he must have reached some sort of agreement with Xiaochen. Wang Chaik felt at ease. Xia Shibin and Song Huo felt the same way. Just as they were about to continue chasing, 5 cultivators ran out from the side and instantly surrounded Wang Chaik, the group, and even the long-faced cultivator. "Don't talk nonsense. Take out the items from the auction," one of the cultivators in the lead said. He was a level 1 martial general expert. When he swung his fist, he revealed his full strength. "Take out what? Get out of the way. I'm chasing after someone." Wang Chaik was instantly enraged, shouting, "Kid, your style is quite unique. The front of your pants is half exposed. Are you trying to defy the heavens?" The leading cultivator looked at Wang Chaik carefully. When he saw his attire, he was immediately amused. "You can get out of the way, but hand over the items. This place is very close to the auction. I don't want to kill people. You'd better be more self-conscious." "What are you talking about? The items have been stolen. Why don't you chase after them with me?" Although Wang Chake looked very anxious, he was actually trying to buy time. If he caught up with Xiao Chun, it would not be fun. What's stolen? Kid, don't lie to me. Do you think I'm an idiot? The leading cultivator sneered, not believing him at all. I'm not lying. You want to steal the meteoric iron, right? At this time the long-faced cultivator spoke. You are. You're from the floating flower sect. The leading cultivator hadn't noticed the long-faced cultivator before. Now that he saw him, he was shocked. He was so shocked that his legs turned to jelly. The long-faced cultivator was not at his level. He could kill him in a second. The meteoric iron in his hand was stolen by the smiling Mithriya. He has already run away. Many people saw this. The long-faced cultivator said lightly. You stopped him from chasing after him. I guess he has already disappeared. Senior, is this true? The leading cultivator obviously knew the long-faced cultivator's character. If he had stolen something, he would not lie. There was no need for him to lie. Although they had more people on their side, they were no match for him. Do you think I would lie? The long-faced cultivator's face darkened. No, I wouldn't dare. The leading cultivator was a little hesitant. Should he chase after Xiao Chun, or continue to interrogate Wang Chake? At this time, a few cultivators who were watching from behind also caught up. When they saw that Wang Chake was surrounded, they could not help but ask, Did you catch up? Don't mention it. I was chasing him, but these people stopped me. Wang Chake complained angrily. How can I chase him now? He's long gone. Xiao Chun turned around and came back, but the meteoric iron had been put into his backpack. His current appearance had also changed to that of Yang Jiannan. How is it? How did such a big thing happen while I was taking a dump? I heard that the smiling Mithriya stole the meteoric iron. Did you catch up? Xiao Chun ran over and asked in a hurry. No. I'm really unlucky this time. Wang Chake said angrily. Big brother, look at these people. They surrounded me and delayed me. Who surrounded you? Don't talk nonsense. The leading cultivator was now clear that the meteoric iron had really been stolen by the smiling Mithriya. If it was someone else who had stolen it, he could still try to chase after him. But the smiling Mithriya was in existence with the same strength as the long-faced cultivator. Therefore, he quietly let his men disperse and did not admit that he had surrounded Wang Chake. Otherwise, he would not get the meteoric iron and be treated as a robber. That would not be good. Then let's hurry up and chase after him. Xiao Chun yelled. We can't catch up. Wang Chake said with some frustration. Forget it, it's too late. No way, we spent so much money I didn't expect. Xiao Chun looked disappointed. The long-faced cultivator looked at Xiao Chun and smiled meaningfully. Okay, don't surround him. Disperse. If you have the ability to watch the fun, go and chase after the smiling Mithriya. With the long-faced cultivator's words, everyone also dispersed. The leading cultivator had long wanted to leave. It was his carelessness that spoiled the matter. He was afraid that the long-faced cultivator would blame him for this matter. Xiao Chun and the rest walked down the mountain dejectedly. By this time, the news that they had been robbed by the smiling Mithriya had already spread. If someone bumped into them, they would at most point at them. No one had any intentions of robbing them anymore. Several people arrived at the parking lot safely. They didn't stop. They got in the car directly and drove away quickly. Brother Yang, your trick is amazing. We deceived all these people. Wang Chake gave a thumbs up in admiration. Come on, look at you. It's really embarrassing. You didn't even fasten your pants. Song Huawu said with some contempt. Haha, didn't I want to act realistically? If I had the time to fasten my pants, would I still be robbed? Wang Chake smiled indifferently. How about it, Brother Yang? My sacrifice is quite big, right? I exposed myself for the sake of acting. Not bad. Xiao Chun nodded. Chake, in the future, when you join our group, don't think too much. We will definitely treat you like a friend. But if you want to betray us, I won't let you go. I understand, Brother Yang. You treat me better than Song Billion. In today's situation, even Song Billion, that old thing, would choose to give up on me. With this comparison, I know how good you are to me, Brother Yang. Wang Chake said gratefully. Well, if that's the case, then I won't say much. It depends on your performance in the future. Xiaochen nodded. Drive directly to Lon City and hand the extraterrestrial meteoric iron to the Research Institute for research. In order to avoid trouble, Xiaochen planned to send the extraterrestrial meteoric iron to the Research Institute. In this way, those martial arts sects who coveted it couldn't do anything. They were different from foreign terrorist spy organizations. They didn't dare to openly rob the Military Advisors Research Institute. That was undoubtedly equivalent to courting death. Therefore, even if they knew, it would be of no help. They didn't have the guts to go against the armed forces. When the time came, they just had to be wary of people like Kai Wuliang. The car rushed all the way and finally arrived at Lon City in the middle of the night. It went directly to the gate of the Military Research Institute and was stopped. Because the car didn't have the license plate of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, there was no pass in front of the car. Xia Shibin, who was driving, showed his ID. The deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C. This title was loud enough, but to everyone's surprise, the gatekeeper said, "Sorry, I have to ask for instructions." Instructions? Xia Shibin was immediately unhappy. "We have something important to do. Hurry up and let us in." Why does the Supernatural Investigation Bureau need to ask for instructions before coming here? What do you mean? I'm the deputy leader of Team C. Why do I need to ask for instructions? Chapter 752. The guard was actually in a difficult position. He had to tell the truth. "I'm sorry, Deputy Team Leader Xia. A deputy director of your Supernatural Investigation Bureau is here. So everyone who comes here has to report. If I let people in privately, I will be punished." Deputy director? Is it a liar? Xia Shibin was stunned. Xiaochen spoke at this time. He looked at the guard and asked, "You said that the deputy director is here. Who is it?" I'm sorry. I can't reveal it." The guard said carefully. "How can you talk like this? This is our deputy director Yang. The person who came as a deputy director. Our brother Yang is also a deputy director. They are of the same rank." Xia Shibin was a little annoyed. "Ah!" The guard was stunned and looked at Xiaochen in disbelief. "I'm Yang Jiannan. You should know me. I was responsible for solving the theft of the chip data here." Xiaochen said, "This is my ID." Xiaochen was polite. He wasn't as angry as Xia Shibin, because the guard was also doing things according to the rules. There was no need to make things difficult for him. The guard did hear about Yang Jiannan. At this moment he was shocked. This was a powerful person. He went to Lego Town to retrieve the encrypted chip. This matter had already spread in this military research base. At this time, he was a little excited to see him in person. He checked Xiaochen's ID and found that his rank was really a deputy director. He quickly said, "Deputy Director Yang, Deputy Director Song is here." "Song Billion?" Xiaochen frowned after listening. "What is he doing here?" I don't know, but Deputy Director Yang, please come in." The guard said quickly. There was no need to report. With Xiaochen's rank, he could freely enter and exit here. Xiaochen nodded and let Xia Shibin start the car. They drove into the military research base. "Brother Yang, where are we going now?" asked Xia Shibin. "You drive first. Walk around here. I want to see what Song Billion is doing," said Xiaochen. "Okay, Brother Yang." Xia Shibin started the car and walked around the research base. Xiaochen's perception was very keen. Soon Xiaochen found the problem. "You parked the car in front of the banquet hall over there," Xiaochen said, pointing not far away. "Okay." Xia Shibin responded and parked the car in front of the door. "Everyone is hungry, right? It's a hard journey. Let's eat something first." Xiaochen got out of the car first, pushed open the restaurant's door and walked in. Xia Shibin, Wang Chake, and Song Huo followed closely behind. "Who are you? A banquet is being held here. Please do not barge in." A guard at the entrance of the restaurant immediately rushed over and stopped Xiaochen and the others. Xiaochen glanced at the guard and knew that he did not recognize him. The last time he came to carry out a mission, he had always appeared as Xiao Chang. Now that he was Yang Jiannan, it was normal that he did not recognize him. Yang said, "Xiao Yang Yang. Xiao Yang to Yang Xiao to Yang." Ah, the guard was stunned. "I'm sorry. The senior leaders of your Supernatural Investigation Bureau are having a meal here, so please don't disturb them. Presumptuous. This is also a senior leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. How can Song Billion, the old bastard, eat inside? Our brother Yang came here after completing a mission from thousands of miles away. Can't he have a meal? Wang Chake jumped out directly. In order to show that he had completely sided with Xiao Chun, he said loudly. If he slandered Song Billion in public, he wouldn't be able to go back. He was also using this to prove his intentions to Xiao Chun. The guard was a little stunned. After listening to this, he was in a dilemma and didn't know how to deal with it. In his opinion, Wang Chake shouldn't be a liar. If he could enter the research base openly, he must be a person with a proper identity. Such a person shouldn't be a liar. Just when he didn't know what to do, a voice sounded in the restaurant. Who broke in? Dr. Su, your management isn't good, right? I think there are big loopholes. I heard that someone broke in at the door. With your management model, no wonder the data was stolen last time. Dr. Su was a little embarrassed after listening. He was naturally the person in charge of this research base, Su Inda. He wasn't good at socializing with people. His whole life was dedicated to learning. He wasn't interested in these superficial things. Today, Song Billion suddenly visited and said that he wanted to invite Su Inda to dinner. But Su Inda had a research project in his hand. He couldn't spare any time at all. Even if he was free, he wouldn't easily participate in this kind of unofficial dinner. After all, his identity was a bit sensitive. What if the other party wanted to steal some research secrets from his mouth? Although it should be impossible with Song Billion's identity, he was already used to it. He really wouldn't go to an unfamiliar person's treat. But it doesn't matter. My junior is a top student. Not only is he good at management, but his skills are also very good. He is also an overseas returnee. His knowledge is also very good. He is the most suitable person to work as a coordinator here. Song Billion said, I still need Dr. Su to take care of me in the future. This is easy. Suinda had a headache. He wasn't good at this kind of social interaction. He didn't know where this Song Billion got his connections and arranged his junior to work at the research base. The procedures were already done, but Suinda just found out about it. In the past, when the research base recruited newcomers, they would go through strict screening. Especially after the last incident, it was even more so. Suinda didn't expect Song Billion to arrange someone to come in without saying a word. Of course, Song Billion must have used the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's channel. In the name of the mission, he could arrange someone to come in. This made Suinda helpless. Well, who is outside the door? Why aren't you leaving? I'll go and see for myself. Whoever dares to be rash here, I'll slap him to death. Song Billion stood up. He intended to show his power and let Suinda see his power. However, just as he stood up, a voice sounded. Song Billion, who do you want to slap to death? Yang Jianan. Song Billion looked at the person and was shocked. Why are you here? You're quite good, aren't you? You even learned to arrange jobs for others? How much did you get? Xiao Chun said sarcastically with a smile that wasn't a smile. Yang Jianan, don't talk nonsense. This is my junior, a real outstanding talent. Song Billion said seriously. Recently, the research base has been having problems, so I recommended a young talent. How can this be considered arranging a job? Up to you. Xiao Chun waved his hand and ignored him. He casually sat on the main seat where Song Billion was just now and said to the staff standing at the side, Give me a new set of chopsticks. I want to eat. Yang Jianan, what are you doing? Don't go too far. This is my position. Song Billion suddenly became furious. I want to impeach you at the meeting. You are arrogant and condescending. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you are with Xia Zhili, the old man. Song Billion, isn't it a bit magical for you to say this? Xiao Chun smiled and said, It's normal for me to come here. But for you, you came here for no reason. Did you ask for leave? Have you talked to Deputy Bureau Chief Ling? Then why did you talk to him? Song Billion asked. Shouldn't you be performing tasks at the auction now? How did you come here? Could it be that you messed up the task and didn't dare to go back, so you came here to show off? Idiot. Wang Chake rolled his eyes and glanced at Song Billion. When Brother Yang came here, he naturally completed the task. Then, he escorted the meteoric iron to the research base and had a celebration banquet. Who do you think you are? You dare to talk nonsense in front of Brother Yang? I think you don't want to live anymore, right? Brother Yang can send you to outer space with a slap and let you develop Mars. You. Wang Chake, you're rebelling. Song Billion suddenly became furious. If Xiao Chun scolded him, he wouldn't be so angry. After all, Xiao Chun and he were enemies, but Wang Chake was his man. You're really right. I'm rebelling. What about it? I'm following Brother Yang now. Wang Chake looked at Song Billion proudly, as if he was going to piss him off. Good, very good. Song Billion was so angry that he didn't know what to say. Yeah, you're right. I'm good now. Wang Chake smiled. Yang Jiannan, you actually got the meteoric iron and you're unscathed? Song Billion looked at the four of them and felt a little incredible. Why, Song Billion, do you want to curse us? Or are you saying that your ability is too bad that you think we can't do this? Xiao Chun asked mockingly. It's nothing. Song Billion shook his head with some disappointment. Although Yang Jiannan, the deputy bureau chief, took advantage of Xiao Chun, now Yang Jiannan also made a great contribution. He brought the meteoric iron to the research base unscathed. This contribution was beyond doubt. He was a little worried that it wouldn't take long for Yang Jiannan's ranking to be ahead of him. After all, the status of the newcomer group and the C group was basically the same in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. If Yang Jiannan was ahead of him, then he would have a hard time. Dr. Su, I'll leave Little Song's matter to you. I'll go first. Song Billion knew that he would be slapped in the face if he stayed here. It was better to leave as soon as possible. Uncle A young man named Little Song glanced at Song Billion and stood up. It was naturally not suitable for him to stay here for dinner. You go with me. Come here tomorrow to report. Song Billion waved his hand. Okay, uncle. Little Song stood up and followed Song Billion to leave. He turned to Dr. Su and said respectfully, Dr. Su, I'll leave first. I'll come here tomorrow to report. Chapter 753. Okay. Dr. Su's impression of Little Song was quite good. He was polite and seemed to be really talented. He was the talent that the research base needed. The person in charge of the computer center had left, and the position was vacant. It was a good opportunity for Little Song to take over. However, Song Billion's method of arranging for people to come in without notifying them made Su Inda a little uncomfortable. After Song Billion and Little Song left, Xiao Chun said enthusiastically, Uncle Su, we meet again. And Su Inda was stunned. Hee, it's me, Xiao Chong. Have you forgotten? You even wanted to marry your daughter to me last time? Xiao Chun laughed. It's you. Su Inda immediately became enthusiastic. How did you change? I don't even recognize you anymore. I thought you were as arrogant as Deputy Bureau Chief Song. Oh right. How did you become the Deputy Bureau Chief? Weren't you the team leader of Team C last time? And I was promoted because of the previous mission. Xiao Chun did not elaborate. This is another appearance. You know, when we, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, carry out missions, we have several appearances. I understand. Su Inda said. So you also got the extraterrestrial meteoric iron? You brought it here. Can I see it? Yes. I think it's safer to send it directly to the research base. Xiao Chun said. But let's eat first. My subordinates are hungry too. That's true. I was too impatient. Oh right, Xiao Zhang, go to the kitchen and get some hot food. Su Inda said to his subordinates. No need. This is not cold. There's no need to waste it. Xiao Chun laughed. He was not too particular about these things. He had experienced the days of selling breakfast in the morning market. How could he be extravagant? Moreover, Song Billion had not eaten much. He had just poured the wine and said a few words before he was chased away by Xiao Chun. Xiao Chong, you and I both like each other. Why don't I marry my daughter to you? You are not arrogant, and you are capable. Su Inda said appreciatively. Haha, I'm just joking. You don't have to be nervous. It won't ruin your relationship with Sour. I know. Xiao Chun was speechless. There was nothing going on between him and Sour, right? All right, I won't joke around anymore. Are you all hungry? Everyone, please take your seats. Su Inda still preferred to deal with Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen's style made people feel comfortable, unlike Song Bilian, who was always high and mighty. After Xiao Chen invited Xia Shibin, Song Huawu, and Wang Chake to take their seats, everyone began to eat. Because they were really hungry, there was no need for empty words. Su Inda breathed a sigh of relief. By the way, who did Song Bilian send in just now? Xiao Chen suddenly thought of Xiao Song. It's said that he's a junior of his, but he's also quite capable. He's an overseas returnee, and is good at coordinating work. Our research base just happens to need such a talent. Su Inda said. It's just that we didn't inform him in advance and suddenly brought him in. Moreover, the procedures and so on have been completed. I'm a little surprised. Xiao Chen nodded. Su Inda was the highest person in charge of this research base. Song Bilian had indeed gone overboard by sending someone in without informing him in advance. Is there any problem with this person? The most important thing in the research base now is not talent but safety. If there's another spy like before, it won't be fun. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau has reviewed it. There shouldn't be any problem, right? Su Inda said. Only they can review it. I don't have the ability to review these things here. Xiao Chen didn't say anything more. Song Bilian's side must have been handled properly. However, logically speaking, there shouldn't be any problem with Song Bilian's junior. So he didn't pay any more attention to it and ate with everyone. Song Bilian took Xiao Song out of the research base. In the car, Xiao Song handed a small card to Song Bilian and said, Uncle, thank you so much. This is the 20 million me that we agreed on in advance. It's an anonymous foreign bank card. Please check it. Hee Xiao Song, you're too polite. Song Bilian put the bank card in his pocket and smiled slightly. But let's make this clear. You can't tell others that you're here. Also, don't make trouble for me. Don't worry, Uncle. My dad just wants me to have a decent job. I won't say anything. If I say anything, won't I lose my job too? Xiao Song smiled. Song Bilian nodded. He knew about Xiao Song's family background. He was a distant relative of his. In fact, he also helped the Song family to manage a business in the secular world. He was indeed not short of money, although he only took 10% of the profits every year and had to give the rest to the Song family. It was still an astronomical figure. Therefore, Song Bilian didn't even think about refusing his filial piety. Moreover, Xiao Song was now a scientist in the research base. It was also very dignified to say it out loud. Okay, you work hard. If you do well, I'll find a way to promote you. Promotion won't be a problem, Song Bilian said. Thank you so much, Uncle, Xiao Song said happily. In Songning City, Tang Tang looked at the identification report in her hand. She was in a daze. It was indeed the blood of her closest relatives. Both bottles were of the same blood. And they were not from the same person because the blood type was different. At this moment, Tang Tang already believed what the mysterious woman said before. Her parents did not die, but they really went to the poison sect. It turned out that they didn't want to abandon her, but they had no choice. Knowing the truth, Tang Tang was a little conflicted. Should she go or not? As a child, when she learned that her parents were in trouble, she had to stand up for them. The mysterious woman said, I think that since you're about to join the poison sect, there should be more trust between us and not deception. I won't lie to you and make you hate me in the future, because I don't dare to offend an expert who can sweep the martial arts world. Don't you think so? Then my mother, her body is like this now. Is she not going to live for long? Xiao Chen hesitated for a moment and carefully asked. If you master the divine skill, then her life and death will be in your hands. You can help to absorb and dissolve the poison in her body, and she will become an ordinary person, a real ordinary person, said the mysterious woman. She won't be troubled by her physique anymore. Tang Tang nodded. In fact, she now believed the mysterious woman. Although this mysterious woman had always been very mysterious, it seemed that she never wanted to lie to her, nor would she use force on her. Instead, she honestly told her some facts. However, in this way, Tang Tang felt that they were equal. and the mysterious woman also gave her enough respect. Let me think about it. Tang Tang sighed. If I go with you, will I not be able to come back? Not in a short period of time. We want to stimulate your poison body, so there is a process. When you truly cultivate this 5 Poison Secrets secret book and reach a certain level, you can walk the martial arts world. The mysterious woman said, at that time, your strength might be higher than mine, and I'm very free now. What do you think? I don't want to lie to you. You can judge based on my current situation. Chapter 754. I believe you, Tang Tang said. I have thought about it. How can I contact you? I will come every day until you agree or not, the mysterious woman said. If I refuse, will you be very disappointed? Will you force me? Tang Tang suddenly asked. I will be disappointed, but there is no need to force me. If you don't cooperate, it's useless for me to take you back. The mysterious woman shook her head. Okay, then come tomorrow. I will give you an answer. Tang Tang said. That's settled. After the mysterious woman finished speaking, she left with a fragrant wind. She came and went without a trace. With her speed, no one could catch up with her at the auction without the long-distance charm. She used that because she didn't want to expose her identity. Tang Tang looked at the back of the mysterious woman and sighed faintly. She realized that there were many times when she could not control herself. She now understood Xiaochen very well. Actually, it should be said that she had always understood Xiaochen. She had said those things to Xiaochen previously because she was afraid that he would worry about her. She and Xiaochen were a couple who had gone through thick and thin together. How could they just break up? However, some things couldn't be changed by individual ability. Tang Tang shook her head. Since she had made the decision, she planned to go out and get something to eat. Because she was in a bad mood, she hadn't eaten for a day. Sister Tang, why haven't I seen you for a day? Where did you go? Yu Xiaochuan was surprised to see Tang Tang. Do you think my dress looks good? Do you think Xiaochen's boss will like it? You're crazy. Tang Tang glanced at him and threw out 2 words. Then she ignored him and walked to the kitchen of the villa. Although the Xiao family had a restaurant, every villa had a separate small kitchen with some fast food in the refrigerator. Yu Xiaochuan didn't care. He continued to hum and try on the dress. You are my little dress. It looks so good on me. Tang Tang just took a sip of milk and spat it out. Wang Tietio gathered Wang Benben and Wang Fantian together and held a family meeting. What do you guys think? Did that little bastard Xiaochen really run away? Wang Tietio had lived for several days, but he didn't see Xiaochen at all. Therefore, he was basically sure that Xiaochen was not in the Xiao family. Father, I think it must be like this. If that's the case, it won't look good if we're still here. Let's go back. Wang Benpai said. Besides, it's not convenient to handle the family business here. You don't have a phone? Don't you have WeChat? Is there no video? Wang Tietio glared at Wang Benben and said angrily. Exploding heavens, what do you think? I say, Grandpa, it's meaningless to stay here. If we stay here, Boss Xiaochen will definitely not come back. Why don't we go back first and wait for him to come back? Wang Fantian suggested. Not bad, exploding the sky is a good idea. If he comes, we'll come. If he leaves, we'll leave. Wang Tietio nodded his head in satisfaction. Run, you should learn. You're already an adult, so why can't you do it? Even your son is better than you. Yes. Wang Benben almost burst into tears. Is there any difference between what I said and what he said? It's just that the statements are different. If that's the case, then we'll say goodbye in a while, and then return to Tianfang. Wang Tietio made the final decision. On the other side, Xiaochen finished his meal and handed over the extraterrestrial meteoric iron to Su Inda. After completing the formalities, it was time to leave. Xiaochen wasn't a member of the research base. He wasn't as annoying as Song Billion, who came here to eat and drink even when he had nothing to do. Early the next morning, he returned to Tianfang province by car. He had to go back and submit his mission. When he left the highway of Tianfang province, there was a business car in front of him. Xiaochen found it familiar. He took a closer look at the car number. Damn, Isn't this Wang Tietio's car? They're back? Xiao Chen was shocked, but he thought that his current car belonged to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and he looked like Yang Jiannan. Wang Tietio shouldn't recognize him. Brother Yang, isn't that the Wang family's car? Xia Shibin, who was driving, also recognized it, but he thought that Wang Chake was still in the car, so he didn't say anything more. And it's the Wang family's. Xiao Chen was still very happy. Wang Tietio finally left. Otherwise, it would be quite annoying to bother his grandfather at home all day long. Don't worry about them. Okay. Xia Shibin nodded and drove directly to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Last night, Xia Zhili had already learned the news that Xiao Chen had successfully completed the mission. He also knew that Song Bilian intervened in the personnel arrangement of the research base. However, the latter was irrelevant to him. The former was the focus of his concern. In the conference room, Xia Zhili looked at Ling Tian proudly and sighed. We are all here. Now it's the world of the young. I remember that every time we went to the auction to buy things, it wasn't so smooth. Either we were collectively ostracized by people who recognized the identity of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, or we were robbed, or we couldn't compete with others. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang not only offered a reasonable price, but he also delivered it safely to the research base. What kind of ability is this? I think such a talent should be promoted. We old people can't hinder the development of the young. Although he said it with a sigh, he didn't look unhappy. Instead, his face was full of smiles. Song Bilian's face was incomparably ugly. His ranking was above Yang Jiannan. If Yang Jiannan went one step further, wouldn't he catch up to him? However, he couldn't refute Xia Zhili's sarcastic words. He could only laugh dryly. Young people should experience more. Okay, let's not talk about this first. Ling Tian said. I just received a notice from the higher-ups. I was supposed to retire this year, but they asked me to postpone my retirement indefinitely and wait for the new appointment letter to arrive. As he said that, Ling Tian handed a document to everyone present. Xia Zhili's face changed. He worked hard for the position of Deputy Bureau Chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Now a document shattered his dream. Although he didn't understand what the higher-ups meant, this document couldn't be faked. After Xia Zhili finished reading it, he passed it to Song Bilian. Song Bilian, on the other hand, was very happy. He was always afraid that Xia Zhili would be promoted. If Xia Zhili really got promoted, then he would be in trouble. However, now that Ling Tian postponed his retirement indefinitely, it meant that Xia Zhili no longer had a chance. No matter what the reason was, the result was good. The document was passed around. Xiao Chen didn't care. Actually, his impression of Ling Tian was quite good. At least this person was fair. It was good to have him take charge of the situation. Next, let's talk about Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang has established a great merit this time. Logically speaking, he should be promoted. However, because of some things before, everyone had a tacit understanding. This can only be considered as Deputy Bureau Chief Yang's merit. Ling Tian waved his hand. This matter was settled. Next, I'm going to talk about a very important matter. Everyone knows that the outer martial arts world has been planning for the Devil Gate Conference. It's the election for the Devil Gate leader. We have to follow up on this matter. After hearing this, everyone's expression turned serious. Even Song Bilian became serious. After all, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's control over the outer martial arts world was very weak. Although there was Team A to balance them, in reality, Team A only cooperated with the outer martial arts world guilds. Basically, they only played a role in moderation. They couldn't control the ordinary aristocratic families like Team C and Team B did. They were already very weak. If the sects in the outer martial arts world joined forces, then the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wouldn't be able to interfere at all. Even the outer martial arts world guilds wouldn't be able to interfere with the Devil Gate. Everyone knows our current situation. If all the Devil Gate in the outer martial arts world joined forces and listened to the orders of the Devil Gate leader, it would definitely have a great impact on our management. Even Team A under my command wouldn't be able to interfere with the affairs of the outer martial arts world. This is quite disadvantageous for us. Ling Tian said. Chapter 755. Oh. Ling Tian was slightly stunned. Xia Zhili frowned. Although Song Bilian spoke of this matter in a dignified manner, and it seemed like he had sacrificed a lot, in reality, it was basically impossible for Xiao Chun to disrupt the demon sect's gathering. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Therefore, Song Bilian would not suffer any losses. On the other hand, Xiao Chun would be too embarrassed to mention his promotion in the future, because he did not complete this task. However, Xia Zhili did not say anything. He wanted to see what Xiao Chun thought. Although it was obviously impossible, what if Xiao Chun had a way? Now that Xiao Chun had surprised him again and again, he was full of confidence in Xiao Chun. He felt that Xiao Chun could create miracles. Deputy Bureau Chief Song. I don't think it's good to give this task to Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. After all, his personal ability is limited. This is a group matter, not a child's play. Ling Tian frowned and said, I know what you are thinking, but if this kind of thing is messed up, it will not benefit either of us. Song Bilian's face suddenly turned red. Ling Tian clearly saw through his thoughts. At this time, he was a little embarrassed. I was thinking that Deputy Bureau Chief Yang is a young talent. Since he is capable, he should be more tolerant. It's not a big deal. Well, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, what do you think? Ling Tian hesitated and asked. I can only say that we can try. Xiao Chun was still very concerned about the affairs of the outer martial arts world, especially when it involved the Kuei Mountain sect. Xiao Chun was not willing to let it go easily. Now that there was such a legitimate opportunity to investigate, Xiao Chun really had to thank Song Bilian. However, there were some things that had to be made clear. After all, the Devil Gate Conference was not something that Xiao Chun could stop alone. If Xiao Chun could stop this kind of event, he would have brought Cheng Minjing back long ago. Why would he let her suffer in the Kuei Mountain sect? Moreover, he could force the Kuei Mountain sect to reveal his father's whereabouts and the mastermind behind it. Therefore, this was not realistic at all. It's good to try, Song Bilian said. Since Deputy Bureau Chief Yang is confident, then this matter will be handed to him. What do you all think? Xia Zhili thought about it and nodded. Let's try our best. If Deputy Bureau Chief Yang can't do it, we have other ways. We can't just ignore him. Of course, Ling Tian nodded his head. Let's all work hard to think of a way. Actually, Ling Tian had no confidence that Xiao Chun would be able to complete the mission. In fact, he himself knew that he had no way of interfering with the affairs of the outer martial world. These demonic sects would not listen to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Next, let's talk about how to deal with Wang Chaik, Song Bilian said. Wang Chaik is a good person. He performed well in this auction. He was the one who called out the bids and cooperated with me to successfully escape. So I don't think we should touch him, Xiao Chun said. Well, Deputy Director Xia is the Deputy Director in charge. What do you think? Ling Tian was slightly taken aback. He naturally knew that Wang Chaik was Song Bilian's man. But why did Xiao Chun speak up for him? Xia Zhili was also taken aback. Xiao Chun held a meeting as soon as he came back. He didn't have time to talk about Wang Chaik's matter. However, Xia Zhili and Xiao Chun already had a tacit understanding and trust each other. So when Xiao Chun said this, he naturally followed suit. It's good that he knows his mistakes and can change. I think we should forget about this matter. Song Bilian's face was a little ugly. Wang Chaik betrayed him and even scolded him. He naturally wanted to use today's opportunity to teach Wang Chaik a lesson and let this guy know the consequences of betrayal. But now that Xia Zhili said so, it was not good for him to continue. If it was any other time, he would definitely not let it go. Even if he made things difficult for Ling Tian, he would argue with him. However, he had just tricked Xiao Chun to deal with the demonic sex event. If he made some more requests, Ling Tian would definitely not support it. Since Deputy Bureau Chief Xia has said so, then I won't say anything more, Song Bilian said resentfully. After the meeting, the matters of the meeting quickly reached Wang Chaik's ears. Because every meeting was recorded by Deputy Bureau Chief Zhang, it would be transferred to the archives for archiving. As long as it was not specifically stated to be confidential, everyone could check it out. Dang dang dang. Xiaochen just returned to the office with Xia Zhili and heard a knock on the door. Who is it? Asked Xiaochen. Brother Yang. Oh, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. It's me, Wang Chaik. Wang Chaik's voice came from outside the door. Come in, said Xiaochen. Wang Chaik pushed the door open and walked in respectfully. He said to Xiaochen and Xia Zhili, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Thank you for speaking up for me at the meeting. I will follow in your footsteps in the future. I won't let you down. Xia Zhili didn't answer, but turned to look at Xiaochen. Wang Chaik is already one of us. He has fallen out with Song Billion. Xiaochen pointed to Wang Chaik and said, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, if there is anything in the future, just instruct him to do it. Now Team B and Team C are basically our people. This is also to prepare for you to become the Executive Deputy Bureau Chief in the future. It turns out to be like this. Xia Zhili nodded, since Xiaochen said that this Wang Chaik was one of them. Then he accepted it. Okay, little Wang. You will work under me in the future. Just be obedient. Don't think too much. Go back and work well. Yes, thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Wang Chaik nodded quickly and said to Xiaochen, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, then I will leave first. Go ahead, but be careful of Song Billion. Don't let him get hold of it, said Xiaochen. Don't worry. I will not do anything outside of my duties in the future. Even if I want to do something, I will tell Deputy Bureau Chief Xia and Deputy Bureau Chief Yang immediately. Wang Chaik replied. After Wang Chaik left, Xiaochen told Xia Zhili about Wang Chaik's matter. Xia Zhili nodded happily after listening. Song Billion, this old man. Let's see what he can use to go against me this time. Now that Team C and Team B are under our control, he is just a newcomer team. He can't do anything. Yes, but we are not monopolizing power. It's just that some people are causing trouble, and the efficiency is low. Now the execution is better. Xiaochen nodded. As for the Executive Deputy Bureau Chief, I'm afraid it won't work. Ling Tian has postponed his retirement indefinitely, so I won't have any chance. Xia Zhili sighed. I'm not much younger than him. Now it seems that I will retire from this position. That might not be the case, right? Xiaochen said. The Demonic Gate Conference is inevitable, and it is indeed related to Deputy Bureau Chief Ling's Team A. So the delay is normal, but it shouldn't be too long. Once this matter is resolved, he should retire normally. I hope so. Xia Zhili nodded. Oh right. Are you confident about the Demonic Gate Conference? No, I actually want to investigate my father, so I took this mission. Xiaochen said truthfully. However, although it has been said before, it is still a bit embarrassing if you didn't complete the mission. This is not good for your future promotion, Xia Zhili said. But if you want to investigate your father, you still have to accept it. Yes. As Xiaochen spoke, his phone suddenly rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Lan Xinxin calling. Xiaochen picked up the phone. Lan Xinxin, what's the matter? Xiaochen, where are you? Lan Xinxin asked. I'm in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. What's the matter? Xiaochen didn't know why Lan Xinxin called at this time. Today I have an appointment to go for a physical examination, and then there is a very annoying male friend who wants to accompany me. Can you come and help? Lan Xinxin said. Help? How can I help? Help you beat him up. Xiaochen was a little puzzled. If you don't want someone to accompany you, just refuse. What else can you do? It's not that. I told him that I have an appointment with a boyfriend. He didn't believe me and insisted on coming to see. Lan Xinxin said with some depression. If I don't have a boyfriend, then he will definitely think that I lied to him, and then continue to pester me. That will be annoying. So you want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? Xiaochen guessed Lan Xinxin's intention at once. Yeah, I thought about it. Among my male friends, I have the best relationship with you. Moreover, we have slept together before. It should be natural for you to pretend to be my boyfriend. It won't be seen through, Lan Xinxin said. What do you mean slept together? Xiaochen suddenly had black lines on his head and said, I can accompany you, but only this time. As long as you make him give up, Then it's fine. Lan Xinxin said happily. When are you free? When are you going for a physical examination? Xiaochen asked. This afternoon. Lan Xinxin said. It's noon now. Where are you? Xiaochen looked at the time. I'm at the entrance of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You can see me when you come out. Lan Xinxin said. You have planned this for a long time. Xiaochen felt that he seemed to be fooled. Lan Xinxin called him only after she came. It didn't matter whether he agreed or not. No way. I just passed by here. And then I suddenly thought of it, so I called to ask. Lan Xinxin explained. Well, you wait for me downstairs. Xiaochen didn't have a car from the airport before. Lan Xinxin sent him, so she wouldn't refuse to help at this moment. Why? Is there something? Xia Zhili asked with a smile. And it's Lan Xinxin. She wants me to pretend to be her boyfriend, to deceive another person who is pestering her. Xiaochen didn't hide it. Then you go. There's nothing else here. You should be prepared to go to the outer Wulin. Xia Zhili said. There's nothing else during this time. I'll help you keep an eye on it. Chapter 756. Thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Xiaochen really didn't want to stay here every day. He would be bored to death. Hehe, go ahead. I know you can't stay here. Young people don't like to sit in the office. Xia Zhili said with a smile. But you have to be careful when you interact with the Wang family. Don't get hung up on. Then, I can't stand up for you. I know. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. He thought, I have been hung up on. I don't need to be careful. Wang Tietio is living in my own house. Outside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's office building, Xiaochen saw Lan Xinxin's beetle parked in the parking space in front of the door. He quickly walked over and opened the door. He saw Lan Xinxin touching up her makeup in front of the mirror. Why did you put on makeup? Xiaochen was stunned. He was baffled. Didn't you say that you want to check your body? I made myself a little ugly, so that the guy wouldn't be interested in me. Lan Xinxin said as she turned her head and looked at Xiaochen. She asked, Am I ugly? Xiaochen was shocked. What is this Lan Xinxin doing? How is this ugly? It's obviously very beautiful. It's not inferior to a movie star. Before, Lan Xinxin had always been barefaced, and she was already very beautiful. Now with makeup, she was even more charming. Never mind the pursuer. Even Xiaochen was a little tempted. Are you going to a beauty pageant? Xiaochen patted his forehead and got in the car. Hehe, go ahead. I know you can't stay here. Young people don't like to sit in the office. Xia Zhili said with a smile. But you have to be careful when you interact with the Wang family. Don't get hung up on. Then I can't stand up for you. I know. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. He thought, I have been hung up on. I don't need to be careful. Wang Tietio is living in my own house. Outside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's office building, Xiaochen saw Lan Xinxin's beetle parked in the parking space in front of the door. He quickly walked over and opened the door. He saw Lan Xinxin touching up her makeup in front of the mirror. Why did you put on makeup? Xiaochen was stunned. He was baffled. Didn't you say that you want to check your body? I made myself a little ugly, so that the guy wouldn't be interested in me. Lan Xinxin said as she turned her head and looked at Xiaochen. She asked, Am I ugly? Chen was shocked. Xiaochen was shocked. What is wrong with Lan Xinxin? How is this ugly? She was obviously very beautiful, not inferior to a movie star. Before, Lan Xinxin had always been barefaced, but she was already very beautiful. Now that she had makeup, she was even more lovely. Chen. Xiao Zhili is to say. Chen, are you going to a beauty pageant? Xiaochen slapped his forehead and got into the car. No, I also want to make myself look uglier. But I look good when I make myself look better. I can't be cruel to myself. Lan Xinxin was also a little depressed. Forget it. Let's just do it. I think you should wash it off. Don't let that person pester you and beat me up again, Xiaochen said. Hehe, that's not possible. Lan Xinxin couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. He's still very gentlemanly. That's not necessarily true. That's because he hasn't seen your boyfriend yet. After seeing me, he's probably almost crazy. Xiaochen shrugged. He had seen too many people like this. It's not that exaggerated. Lan Xinxin couldn't help but laugh after listening. Let's go. He said that he was waiting for me at the entrance of the hospital. After that, Lan Xinxin started the car and went in the direction of the hospital. Lan Xinxin's appointment was at one of the best hospitals in Tianfang Provincial Hospital. The parking lot was already full of cars. But just as Lan Xinxin was looking for a parking space, a sedan drove away. Lan Xinxin quickly parked the car in the parking space. However, what surprised Xiaochen was that when Lan Xinxin just parked the car, the door of another Mercedes-Benz off-road vehicle next to it opened. An elegant gentleman came out of it with roses in his hand and went directly to Lan Xinxin's Beetle. Xinxin, I've been waiting for you for a long time. This is for you. The elegant gentleman waited for Lan Xinxin to get out of the car and gave the roses to her. Xiaochen looked at the elegant gentleman and looked at the off-road vehicle parked on the side. He was a little puzzled. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? Why did Lan Xinxin stop next to it? Thinking about it carefully, when he was looking for a parking space, the sedan next to the Mercedes-Benz drove away without warning, and Lan Xinxin just happened to stop. All this seemed to be a coincidence, but thinking about it carefully, could it be that the elegant gentleman deliberately arranged it? He asked someone to reserve a parking space next to him in advance. When Lan Xinxin came, he pretended to give up the parking space coincidentally. I don't like roses the most, said Lan Xinxin. Ugh, didn't you say last time that you don't like lilies and like roses? The elegant gentleman suddenly felt a little embarrassed. I like blue roses, said Lan Xinxin. Oh, you should have said it earlier. After the elegant young man heard this, he threw the rose in his hand into a nearby rubbish bin, with a so sound. His accuracy was so high that it made Xiaochen speechless. However, the strength that he revealed in that instant made his heart tremble. This person was a martial cultivator, and his strength was definitely not low. After throwing it away, the elegant gentleman opened the trunk of the Mercedes-Benz and took out a bunch of blue roses from it. He came to Lan Xinxin again. Xinxin, look, this time it has turned blue. Lan Xinxin was a little helpless, but she had already said what she wanted to say before. She could only take the blue roses from the elegant gentleman and said, Okay, I'll accept it. Wang Peifeng, there's nothing for you to do here. How can that be? Didn't we agree that I will accompany you for the checkup? The elegant gentleman called Wang Peifeng was not moved at all. Let's go. I have already helped you register in advance. I have acquaintances in the hospital. What are you checking? I'll go and greet them. No need, Lan Xinxin said coldly. If you go and greet them, how can other people see the doctor? I don't like to cut in line. Ugh. Wang Peifeng originally wanted to be attentive, but he blushed instead. Chenchen, let's go. Ignore him. Lan Xinxin said as she held onto Xiaochen's arm. Feeling the softness of Lan Xinxin's chest pressing against his arm, Xiaochen was startled. His heart was like a monkey, and his mind was like a galloping horse. Lan Xinxin was very beautiful today. Her fragrant scent wafted over with the breeze, causing Xiaochen's heart to be moved. Ahem. You are. However, Xiaochen did not lose his reason and asked. We have to pretend to be intimate. Otherwise, will he believe us? Lan Xinxin lowered her voice. Look, he's watching over there. If we're exposed, then it's useless. Okay. Xiaochen could only agree. Fortunately, it wasn't his first time pretending to be a boyfriend. However, this kind of situation with a love rival made him feel uneasy. Xiaochen didn't know how to cooperate. Lan Xinxin didn't say anything about humiliating this person or ignoring him. Also, Xiaochen didn't know what this person's background was. Looking at his strength, his background shouldn't be weak. If he offended someone because of something unrelated to him, then it wouldn't be fun. Therefore, Xiaochen could only bite the bullet and listen to Lan Xinxin's orders. The two of them quickly walked into the hospital, while Wang Peifeng followed closely behind. When they arrived at the registration counter, they found a queue and stopped. Wang Peifeng seemed a little confused. I already registered, so I'll just use it. Otherwise, it'll be a waste. He also needs to be checked. We'll do a premarital checkup together. Are you registering for 2 people? Lan Xinxin said. Ah. After Wang Peifeng heard it, he was suddenly shocked. Xinxin, why are you getting married? When did this happen? Why didn't I know? Whether I want to get married or not, I don't need to ask you, right? Lan Xinxin rolled her eyes. You're not my elder. But I am. Wang Peifeng was a little angry. With this kid? Do you really want to do a premarital checkup? Yeah, it's better to check in advance just in case. Lan Xinxin said. Kid, don't think that I don't know who you are. Aren't you a deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? What qualifications do you have to be with Lan Xinxin? Wang Peifeng suddenly became angry. He pointed at Xiao Chun and shouted. Who are you again? Xiao Chun was a little surprised. This Wang Peifeng even knew what he did. But it was old news. You don't need to know who I am. My identity isn't enough for you to know. Wang Peifeng said proudly. Kid, if you know what's good for you, leave Xinxin. Otherwise, I will make you look good. Oh, I always thought that I was quite good looking. Xiao Chun was also angry. Isn't this Wang Peifeng's sense of superiority a little too strong? I don't know what his background is, but he said faintly, I am now the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I hope you can speak with respect. Don't find trouble for yourself. Aha, deputy director? Don't talk nonsense. Can you be the deputy director? Wang Peifeng was stunned, but he smiled and said, even if you are the deputy director, what can you do? Don't think that I'm afraid of you. It's useless. Wang Peifeng's words really made Xiao Chun a little surprised. Even the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau doesn't care about this person's background? Is he someone from the outer martial arts world? But how can someone from the outer martial arts world pursue Lan Xinxin? Oh, if Lan Xinxin doesn't like you, it's useless. Xiao Chun was too lazy to argue with him, so he returned the original words. What else do you have in addition to this advantage? Wang Peifeng sneered and said, you don't have to be proud. I will use my perseverance and patience to move Lan Xinxin. At that time, you can just wait to cry. Xiao Chun didn't know how to explain to this person. This is simply godly logic. Isn't this advantage enough? And if it was so easy to be moved, then Lan Xinxin wouldn't have asked him to pretend to be her boyfriend. Obviously, Lan Xinxin didn't have a good impression of him at all. He didn't know where her confidence came from. Whatever you say, Xiao Chun said. Chapter 757. Right, it just so happens that I will also register for a check. Maybe Xinxin. And I will get married then. Wang Peifeng thought about it and said, who wants to marry you? Don't you have a brain? Lan Xinxin glared at him. Hehe, I will check anyway. Wang Peifeng said shamelessly. Soon it was Lan Xinxin's turn to register. Because Wang Peifeng had already registered for Lan Xinxin, he registered for 2 more people. Wang Peifeng rushed to pay the money, and Xiao Chun took advantage of him. You can't even afford the registration fee. Poor. Wang Peifeng snorted. Someone is willing to pay for the registration fee, and he thinks he is great. I can't say anything. Xiao Chun said coldly. He also noticed that this Wang Peifeng didn't seem to have a high IQ. He only knew how to talk. However, holding the registration card, Xiao Chun suddenly remembered something and said to Lan Xinxin, Xinxin, why do I check this thing? Aren't you here to check the body? Why are you checking this too? Isn't it because I want to let him go? Lan Xinxin also looked helpless. But he doesn't leave. After hearing such a private matter, not only did he not leave, but he also wants to check together. I really admire him. I also admire him. Xiao Chun shrugged. Then let's really go for a check. Otherwise, what should we do? You look at his appearance. He won't give up until he dies. AI. Lan Xinxin sighed. Looking at this, he doesn't want to give up, right? Xiao Chun glanced at Wang Peifeng and whispered. If he keeps pestering you, won't I have to pretend to be him? I didn't expect him to be so persistent. Lan Xinxin spread her hands and looked at Xiao Chun. AI, if you are in trouble, don't help. I don't want to cause any trouble for you. Forget it. Since I have already helped, then I will help to the end. Xiao Chun had no choice but to nod. The 3 of them walked forward together. Wang Peifeng was bouncing on the side as if she was boxing. Xiao Chun was speechless when he saw this. When they arrived at the entrance of the physical examination department, the first one was to draw blood. Because there were still people in front of them, they had to line up here. Hey, why are you squeezing? Go to the side and stay there. If you continue to squeeze, I'll kill you with my hammer. Wang Peifeng saw a young man with shifty eyes squeezing around like a thief, so he threw a punch at him. Bang! The young man's head tumbled. Brat, you're courting death. The thievish-browed youth got up from the ground, pointed at Wang Peifeng and said angrily, I'm lining up here. Why did you push me? I'm done for. It hurts so much my head hurts all over. As he spoke, the young man with shifty eyebrows began to roll on the ground. Doctor, I want a checkup. I want emergency treatment. I can't take it anymore. I was beaten up. Are you sick? Wang Peifeng was not moved at all. He walked over and stepped on the head of the young man with shifty eyebrows. The guy's nose was bleeding, but Wang Peifeng was not satisfied. He also stepped on the ground a few times, causing the skin of the young man with shifty eyebrows to break. Since you can't take it anymore, then I'll help you. You can die now. Xiao Chun looked at Wang Peifeng dumbfounded. Isn't this guy a tiger? Is he here to pick up girls? Can such a bloody guy still capture Lan Xinxin's heart? Don't. Brother, I was wrong. Brother, I don't want to die. I can do it again. Let me go, I'm fine. The young man with shifty eyebrows did not expect that not only did he fail to blackmail Wang Peifeng, but he was also trampled more violently by the other party. Be careful in the future. Get lost. Wang Peifeng withdrew his foot and said with a proud face. Yes. The young man with shifty eyebrows got up and ran away. Xinxin, how is it? Am I a reliable person? After Wang Peifeng finished, he looked at Xiao Chun provocatively. I'm telling you, a man must be brave. Don't think that you are the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It's useless to be a coward. If I show my bravery a few more times, Lan Xinxin will definitely like me. Xiao Chun slapped his forehead. How did I get such a pursuer? It's like my brain is missing a cord. Ai Xiao Chun, then I really have to continue to trouble you in the future. Lan Xinxin also said with a headache. The blood was drawn very quickly. Soon it was Xiao Chun's turn. Wang Peifeng also drew his blood. And then the three of them went to the next consulting room. Take this small cup, fill it with urine, and test it here. A nurse gave 3 disposable cups to Xiao Chun and others and said, We still need to test urine? Xiao Chun was stunned. Of course, hurry up. The nurse pointed to the bathroom not far away. Be careful when you do it. Don't get it outside. You will get it all over your hands. Xiao Chun couldn't help it. He took the paper cup. Lan Xinxin, what kind of physical examination did you sign up for? Why is there a urine test? You're a man. I asked you to take a cup of urine, and you're doing this and that. Is it so difficult? Even if you ask me to drink urine, I won't blink. Wang Peifeng glanced at Xiao Chun and said disdainfully, Did you see that? This is called courage. This is called courage. How can Lan Xinxin, a girl from a martial arts family, like an ordinary man? I think you got the deputy director position through your relationship, right? If you're brave, then drink it. Xiao Chun didn't know what to say after listening. The other party's IQ was beyond his imagination. TSK. Wang Peifeng snorted. Right, Xinxin, it's not convenient for you girls to take urine. How about I help you take it later? Get lost. Lan Xinxin glared at him. Are you sick? Ugh. Wang Peifeng was stunned. How am I sick? Xiao Chun, do you want to help me? Lan Xinxin turned to look at Xiao Chun. Me? How can I help? Xiao Chun was shocked and almost dropped the cup. Isn't there a gap under the cubicle? Just reach in. Lan Xinxin said. Forget it. That's the women's toilet. If I go in, I'll be kicked out. Xiao Chun shook his head quickly. Look at your cowardice. Xinxin, I dare. Wang Peifeng immediately said. For my beloved woman, never mind going to the women's toilet, I dare to go to the morgue. Wang Peifeng, that's enough. Lan Xinxin frowned. Oh. Wang Peifeng closed his mouth after Lan Xinxin said it. The 3 of them went to the toilet to collect urine, and then sent it back to the testing place. It was the next test. but the men and women weren't together. However, this test was a bit awkward. Lan Xinxin accompanied Xiao Chen to check first. She saw the nurse give Xiao Chen a disposable cup. You still want to do a urine test? But there's no more. I can't pee anymore. Xiao Chen was stunned. What urine test? This is to test the activity and defects of the cyanobes. You go to the opposite row of rooms and see which one is empty. Go in and solve it yourself. The nurse said, there are posters and videos in the room. Take a look yourself. Ah! When Xiao Chen heard it, he was stunned. I think we should forget about this. How can we forget about it? Premarital examination is the most important step. This determines whether you can have a healthy pregnancy in the future. Hurry up. You're a man, and you still need to be shy. The nurse glared at Xiao Chen with disdain. Yeah, isn't it just masturbation? You are too unmanly. I started masturbating when I was 4 years old. Oh no, I started masturbating mutton skewers. Wang Peifeng opened his mouth and began to brag. But he suddenly found that he was bragging too much, so he quickly changed his words. Lan Xinxin rolled her eyes at him. Do I have to do it myself? Xiao Chen suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Nonsense. Did you read too much gossip? Do you think that there is a nurse to help? The nurse said, don't daydream. Xiao Chen, do you want me to help you? Lan Xinxin suddenly said. That's right. Your girlfriend is right next to you. Let her help you. Look over there. It's all couples helping each other. I'll give you another cup. You can give her some secretion too. She's going for a test later. The nurse took out another cup and said, but don't really do it. It will be hard to test if you mix it together. What? Xiao Chen looked at the tough nurse in amazement. But thinking about it, the nurses in this department were really not competent, if they were not bold. All right, hurry up. What are you waiting for? The nurse waved her hand and gestured for Xiao Chen to leave. Then she gave Wang Peifeng a cup and said, you go too. No problem. Wang Peifeng promised directly and loudly. I'm not like some people. I'm very brave. Lan Xinxin, your suitor seems to be a bit brave. Xiao Chen didn't say the next sentence. That was he thought that Wang Peifeng and Lan Xinxin were really a good match. Both of them were a bit brave. But he naturally couldn't say this. After all, he was here to help, not to matchmake. It's okay. Just make do. Lan Xinxin shrugged. What am I going to do? Xiao Chen shook his head. Yes, I think we should omit this step of the test. We are not really married. How can that be? If we don't come, people will think that we have a problem. Lan Xinxin said. Ah yes, I remember. It must be that your part isn't good. I broke it, and you were embarrassed to say it, so you refused to check. Am I right? How is it possible? Xiao Chen was choked by Lan Xinxin. Then let's check it. Lan Xinxin said. Actually, I'm also quite anxious about you. Let's try it, okay? If it really isn't good, treat it early. Don't drag it out. There's really no need and I'm fine. Xiao Chen refused with a dumbfounded expression. Come on. For this matter, I deliberately learned the male rejuvenation massage technique from the short movies. It should be effective. Lan Xinxin stretched out her right hand and showed it to the left. I think my technique should be okay. Okay. I'll do it myself, okay? Xiao Chen was forced by Lan Xinxin. Then you wait for me here. Chapter 758. Xiao Chen took the paper cup and found an empty room to escape. He locked the door and breathed a sigh of relief. The environment here was very cozy. The layout was the same as an otaku's bedroom. There were a few sexy female star pictorials on it. There was also a player, probably something like a short movie. However, Xiao Chen wasn't in the mood at all. After thinking for a long time, he still didn't feel anything. He could only open the player and look at it, but he lost interest after a few glances. The women in it were really not good-looking. They were far worse than Xin Jingxian and Tang Tang. He turned off the player helplessly. Xiao Chen not only wasn't interested, but he felt a little disgusted and bored. After all, the girls around him were much better than him in terms of appearance and temperament. Looking at these things, Xiao Chen's eyes were also a lot more arrogant. He had no interest at all. He walked out of the room with the small paper cup. Lan Xinxin ran over with anticipation, but when she saw the paper cup in Xiao Chen's hand, she was very disappointed and worried. Xiao Chen, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you get it out? Ugh, that. I don't think it's necessary to do this examination. It didn't come out. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Ah, why don't I help you? Lan Xinxin's eyes were filled with deep worry. You have to believe in my skills. Although I'm self-taught, I think I should be able to do it. No need. I'm not in the mood today. Xiao Chen quickly refused. Isn't this a joke? If I let Lan Xinxin help me, then Wang Tietio won't let me off the hook. Lan Xinxin's eyes flashed a hint of suspicion, and then she seemed to understand something. Xiao Chen, you tell me, is it still not good? If you're not good, you're in the hospital. Let's go and have a look. I really don't need to see. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. I'm fine. AI. Lan Xinxin sighed. She seemed to have a heavy heart, but she didn't continue to persuade Xiao Chen. When the two of them returned to the examination room, Wang Peifeng had already handed in the results. He was looking around at the side. When he saw Xiao Chen and Lan Xinxin, he said, Xiao Chen, let me see if you've done it. F***CK, your amount isn't good either. It's too little. The bottom of the cup isn't even full. I've filled half a cup. Xiao Chen ignored him and said to the nurse, I'm sorry. I'm not in the right state today. Let's forget about the examination. No condition? The nurse looked at Xiao Chen and felt a little strange. Lan Xinxin quickly ran over and whispered a few words in the nurse's ear. The nurse suddenly understood. She looked at Xiao Chen and said sympathetically, Young man, you look strong. Do you have any problems in that area? Then you have to hurry up and get treated. You don't have to register again. I'll give you the results of the examination. You can go to the doctor. This. Xiao Chen was stunned. Xiao Chen really didn't expect that after the inspection was completed, Lan Xinxin still didn't believe it. How can I do that? Then why didn't you check it before? Why didn't you let me see it? There must be a problem. Lan Xinxin said firmly. Okay, let's not talk about this. Let's check other things. Xiao Chen didn't want to continue this topic. It hurt him too much. As for the others, forget it. Lan Xinxin was a little dispirited, and she looked like she had a lot on her mind. Xiao Chen looked at her and knew that she was still worried about his problem, but Xiao Chen couldn't explain it. He couldn't really take off his pants and let her try it, right? He had checked everything that needed to be checked, but she still didn't believe it. In fact, Lan Xinxin already thought that Xiao Chen was crippled by her. Even if it was a check, it was a lie. No matter what the result was, she wouldn't believe it. Okay, but the one following behind. Xiao Chen pointed to Wang Peifeng. Let him follow. Let's go eat. Lan Xinxin said. Okay. Xiao Chen had previously thought that Wang Peifeng and Lan Xinxin were quite compatible, but looking at Wang Peifeng's style now, if he and Lan Xinxin were to be together, the two of them would be finished. Two tiger men together, there was probably no hope. After leaving the hospital, Wang Peifeng also followed behind. They got in the car together. Lan Xinxin drove in front, and Wang Peifeng followed behind. They arrived at the entrance of a restaurant one after another. The restaurant wasn't big, but it was very popular. The parking spaces at the entrance were basically occupied. Because Wang Peifeng drove an off-road vehicle, it was easy to park on the sidewalk. But Lan Xinxin's beetle couldn't get up. Xinxin, let me help you. Wang Peifeng quickly ran over and hugged Lan Xinxin's beetle. He directly moved it to the sidewalk and put it side by side with his Mercedes-Benz. Xiao Chen was dumbfounded. No wonder Lan Xinxin didn't want to be with him. This character, he was even more reckless than Lan Xinxin. If she went out with him, it would be really shocking. After settling all this, Wang Peifeng proudly showed off his muscles and then walked into the restaurant under the shocked gaze of a group of people. The restaurant's security was also shocked. It was the first time they saw someone parking like this. How was this parking? It was simply taking a car. Xinxin, I really admire him now. No wonder you don't want to be with him. Xiao Chen sighed. Yeah, that's why I called you here. But looking at him, it seems like he won't give up. It's up to you in the future. Lan Xinxin pulled Xiao Chen. They entered the restaurant, but there were no seats. They needed to wait. The waiter gave Lan Xinxin a cue card, and the three of them were ready to wait in the rest area. Xinxin, why are you here? At this time, a man came out from a private room not far away. He seemed to be going to the bathroom. He saw Lan Xinxin at a glance, and immediately rushed over. Xinxin, why didn't you tell me that you came here to eat? I'll treat you. Yan Jichuan, it's none of your business here. Lan Xinxin saw Yan Jichuan and seemed to be shocked. She quickly said, my family is eating here. Don't disturb us. Family? Yan Jichuan glanced at Xiao Chun and frowned. But when he saw Wang Peifeng behind him, he immediately became a lot more enthusiastic. Big brother, you are here too. That's great. You and Xinxin should eat together. I've booked a private room. There are no outsiders. We are all familiar with each other. Who is your big brother? I don't know you. Wang Peifeng saw Yan Jichuan and immediately became vigilant. You are Xinxin's cousin. Isn't that my big brother? Our Yin family has already proposed marriage with your Wang family. We have already put this matter on the agenda. Yan Jichuan said, Xinxin, my grandpa plans to personally go to your family to be a matchmaker. I believe Grandpa Wang will definitely agree. You don't talk nonsense. What cousin, big brother? Cousin? Wang Peifeng was a little anxious. My surname is Wang, not Tang. If you talk nonsense again, I will beat you up. No, I mean you are Xinxin's cousin's cousin, not Tang. Yan Jichuan didn't know what was going on, so he quickly explained. Xiao Chun looked at Wang Peifeng, and then looked at Lan Xinxin. He suddenly understood everything. This Wang Peifeng is actually Lan Xinxin's cousin? Isn't that one of the third generation of the Wang family, who went to the outer Wulian Wang family to cultivate? No wonder his surname is Wang. No wonder he is so powerful. It turns out to be Wang Tietio's genes. So this guy was called by Lan Xinxin to act. Chapter 759. Xiao Chun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't expect Lan Xinxin to have such a clever plan. It was obvious that she was colluding with Wang Peifeng to trick him to come for a physical examination. Now that he thought about it, no wonder he felt that the conversation between Wang Peifeng and Lan Xinxin was a little strange. They were siblings. Xinxin, what's going on? Xiao Chun really didn't know whether to be angry or something else. I'll explain when I have time. Lan Xinxin looked at Yan Jichuan angrily. It's all your fault. What nonsense are you talking about? My boyfriend must have misunderstood. What? Xinxin, this is your boyfriend? Yan Jichuan's gaze towards Xiao Chun suddenly became unfriendly. Originally, Lan Xinxin said that they were family, and he also saw Wang Peifeng, so he subconsciously thought that Xiao Chun was also Lan Xinxin's relative. This is a real pursuer. Lan Xinxin whispered in Xiao Chun's ear to remind him. I don't believe it now. Xiao Chun smiled bitterly. In fact, he could see that Yan Jichuan was a real pursuer, but he said it on purpose. It was originally quite good. You didn't even realize it, but it was ruined by Yan Jichuan. Lan Xinxin was suddenly unhappy, and she hated Yan Jichuan to death. Kid, where are you from? Do you know that I'm from Tianfang Jinwu's Yan family? Yan Jichuan pointed at Xiao Chun and said, if you know what's good for you, leave Lan Xinxin immediately. She's not suitable for you. Yan Jichuan's tone was arrogant, as if he was facing an ant. In fact, in his eyes, Xiao Chun was indeed an ant-like figure. In Tianfang province, he was basically someone who could do whatever he wanted. The first family in Tianfang was the Wang family, and the second was the Yin family. In terms of overall strength, the Yin family was higher than the Wang family. It was only because the Wang family had direct support in the outer martial arts world, and with the backing of the Wang family, they became the first family in Tianfang province. However, the Yin family didn't, so they could only settle for second place. It had been like this all these years. Even if the Yin family wanted to surpass them, it was impossible, so they just accepted it. Under such circumstances, Yan Jichuan didn't care about anyone other than the Wang family. When he heard that Xiao Chun wasn't a relative of the Wang family, he immediately became arrogant. Oh, it's not very suitable, but I can make do for now. Xiao Chun glanced at Yan Jichuan, patted him on the shoulder and said, Thank you for your reminder. What? Yin Jichuan was stunned. He thought that after hearing this, Xiao Chun would either leave with his tail between his legs, or fly into a rage, and show his background. But even if he flew into a rage, Yin Jichuan wasn't afraid, because he had never been afraid of any of these families in Tianfeng province. He just wanted to wait for the other party to show his background, and then suppress him in all aspects, so that Xiao Chun would retreat in the face of difficulties, so that he would never dare to have any ideas about Lan Xinxin again. However, he didn't expect that the other party would accept it humbly, and even thank him. All of a sudden he didn't know what to say. He was stunned for a long time before he said, "You're welcome. What do you think? Are we going to leave or not? I have to think about it. How can I make a decision in an instant for such a big matter? Ordinary people have to study for a few days to buy a home appliance." Xiao Chun shook his head and said, "Oh, okay then. Think about it." Yin Jichuan was a little helpless. He really had no way to deal with such a person. "If that's the case, let's eat something together. I have booked a private room, and I can introduce a few friends to you. The more friends, the more options. My friends are very powerful in Tianfeng province. They are all the young masters of major families. Today we are gathering here. If you give up on Lan Xinxin, then we will be friends. If you have any problems in the future, just say the word. We can basically help you solve it." "Oh, but I don't have anything to trouble you." Xiao Chun nodded. "Since you are treating, let's go eat." Yin Jichuan was speechless. Listening to Xiao Chun's tone, it seems that he is eating with me or giving me face. However, since Xiao Chun's attitude was good, he couldn't say anything more. He could only bring Xiao Chun and the others into the private room. There were 2 other people in the private room. When they saw Lan Xinxin, Wang Peifeng, and Xiao Chun coming in, they greeted them one after another. However, they didn't know Xiao Chun. But to be able to mingle with these people, their identity must be extraordinary. Cough cough. Seeing his 2 buddies nodding and greeting Xiao Chun, Yin Jichuan quickly curled his lips and lowered his voice. "Love rival." Oh. The 2 of them suddenly realized. One of them, Liang Bufan, was a hot-tempered person. When he heard that Xiao Chun was Yin Jichuan's love rival, he immediately exploded. He slammed the table and said, "Kid, where did you come from? You actually dare to fight with Brother Yin for a woman. Don't you know who has the final say in Tianfeng's territory? Tianfeng? Isn't that the headquarters of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Isn't it the Supernatural Investigation Bureau that has the final say?" Xiao Chun looked at Liang Bufan in confusion. Huh. Liang Bufan was stunned. F***CK. I'm talking about the aristocratic families. Oh, aristocratic families. Isn't that the Wang family? Xiao Chun said without hesitation. Isn't the Wang family the #1 martial arts aristocratic family in Tianfeng? Liang Bufan was instantly shaken by Xiao Chun's words, but he couldn't refute it. He couldn't explode even if he wanted to. After a while he said weakly, "What I mean is, other than the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and the Wang family, who else has the final say?" He didn't dare to say that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau didn't have the final say, let alone the Wang family. The people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau weren't here, so it didn't matter if they talked big behind their backs. But Lan Xinxin and Wang Peifeng were here. If he said that the Wang family was inferior to the Yin family, wouldn't he be courting death? That I really don't know. May I know which family it is? Xiao Chun looked like he was all ears. Bufan, don't talk to him anymore, this person. Sigh. Yin Jichuan had suffered in this aspect before. If this Xiao Chun were to be humble, then he was quite humble. But he could choke someone to death with just one sentence. And yet he did not have any temper. All right, kid, I won't talk nonsense with you anymore. The one who spoke was another of Yin Jichuan's underlings. His name was Xiao Wuyo. He directly said to Xiao Chun, "The Yin family that Brother Yin belongs to is the #2 martial arts aristocratic family in Tianfeng province. They are a match for sister-in-law Lan Xinxin." Huh? You seem to be older than me. Why do you call me big brother? Xiao Chun looked at Xiao Wuyo strangely. Who called you big brother? Xiao Wuyo was stunned. If you call Lan Xinxin's sister-in-law, then I'm her boyfriend. Doesn't that mean I'm your big brother? Xiao Chen said matter-of-factly. Xiao Wuyo didn't continue with the word I. He had no other choice. Ahem. Yin Jichuan saw his two underlings being defeated. He quickly coughed twice and changed the topic. Let's not talk about this. Xiao Chen, think about it. Break up with Lan Xinxin, and then I will help you find a good job. Our Yin family has a lot of family businesses. You don't have to go to work, and you can still get money every month. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for your kindness. I have a job now, and I'm quite busy. I can't do a part-time job. Xiao Chen said with some regret. You don't have to go to work. You can just do a part-time job. Yin Jichuan said. Oh, but our unit's management is quite strict. We are not allowed to do part-time jobs outside, especially as consultants for some enterprises. This is not possible. So, thank you for your kindness, Xiao Chen said helplessly. Yin Jichuan slapped his forehead. He found that it was very difficult to communicate with Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen's words seemed normal, but it made him crazy. Then forget it. And thank you anyway, said Xiao Chen. You're welcome. Yin Jichuan sighed. Okay, let's eat. Can I order some more food? Asked Xiao Chen. Yes, Yin Jichuan said weakly. He really wanted to beat Xiao Chen up, but he couldn't grab hold of Xiao Chen's weakness. He was the young master of the Yin family. He was usually quite concerned about his face. He couldn't bully an ordinary person for no reason. He asked Xiao Wuyo to find the waiter. Xiao Chen ordered a few more dishes. They were all expensive dishes. Yin Jichuan looked at it with disdain. If you come to work in my company, your monthly salary is enough to eat several meals. Oh, I had a blood test in the morning. I'm a little dizzy, Xiao Chen said. I have to eat more good food to supplement myself. Then add a bullwhip, Lan Xinxin said as she looked at the menu. But after she finished speaking, she noticed that everyone was looking at her strangely. She suddenly knew that what she said was a little silly. She quickly shrunk her head. Oh, then add one more. Xiao Chen readily agreed. He didn't look embarrassed at all. Yin Jichuan was completely defeated by him. He was really drunk to meet such a rival in love. He didn't understand the sarcasm at all, or he was obviously being sarcastic, but he was listening to it. Yin Jichuan could only let Xiao Chen think about it himself. Yin Jichuan was too lazy to talk anymore. Give me one too. Today, I masturbated in the hospital. I also need to supplement myself. Wang Peifeng also said, Xinxin, why do you keep thinking about Xiao Chen? Why don't you let your brother supplement himself? It's really tiring for your brother to act for you. Oh my God. It's the first time I've done this in my life. You're still talking about it? You failed, and you're still asking for credit. Lan Xinxin snorted. Don't worry about that. Isn't Yin Jichuan taking over my work? It's the same. Wang Peifeng said casually. I'll have 2 more lamb eggs. Do you have any? After a while, the additional dishes were served in order. So they saw Xiao Chen and Wang Peifeng eating heartily, while Yin Jichuan, Liang Bufan, and Xiao Wuyo stared at each other. Brother Yin, what's the situation? Should we teach him a lesson? Xiao Wuyo really couldn't help it. Let's watch him eat, as if we are accompanying him. Forget it. It's not interesting to bully a small character like him. Yin Jichuan waved his hand with flagging interest and said, This matter is actually easy to solve. Looking at his appearance, he should have no background, and his family conditions are not good. The Wang family will never allow such a person to be with Lan Xinxin. When my grandfather proposes marriage, the Wang family will definitely help us drive this guy away. We don't have to be the bad guys. Chapter 760. That's right. Brother Yin is smart. If it were me, I would have exploded by now. Liang Bufan nodded in agreement. Then we'll let him have it easy today. Xiao Wuyo was unwilling. What else can we do? Yin Jichuan shook his head. Don't cause trouble. Wang Peifeng is here today. Isn't fighting in front of him courting death? As the 3 of them were whispering to each other, there was an urgent knock on the door of the private room. Yin Jichuan, who was halfway through his sentence, immediately frowned. Who is it? What do you want? Liang Bufan asked. The door was pushed open. The driver and underling that Yin Jichuan brought came in. He was a disciple of the Yin family called Yin Laosan. Young Master Yin, Ni Gangyin, and the others arrived early. They parked their car in front of your car and shouted that young master, Yin is a coward who doesn't dare to come out. Yin Laosan said hurriedly, "What? Ni Gangyin is here now. Didn't we agree to have a showdown in the afternoon?" Yin Jichuan was stunned and frowned immediately. I don't know what's going on. Yin Laosan also looked troubled. Who knew that they would come so early and find this place? Damn, someone must have tipped them off. I can't even eat my lunch in peace. Yin Jichuan snorted and said, "Humph, then let's go out and see what he wants." However, as soon as he finished speaking, the door of the private room was pushed open with a bang. 3 men who looked like young masters swaggered in. When they saw Yin Jichuan, they said directly, "Isn't this young Master Yin? You're quite cool. You're going to be beaten up in the afternoon. But you're still in the mood for a big meal." "Aya, what's this? Bullwhip?" she begs. "Are you trying to eat a big meal?" Yin Jichuan's face immediately turned green. He was not the one who ordered this at all. In the end, he was treated as a laughingstock. He glared at Xiao Chun hatefully, only to discover that this guy was still eating happily. He was not affected by the scene in front of him at all. Yelling, "He's eating happily? Yin Jichuan, this subordinate of yours is quite a weirdo. He has a big heart." The one who spoke was naturally Ni Gangyin. He looked at Xiao Chun with disdain and ridiculed. "Don't talk so much. How are we going to compete?" Yin Jichuan didn't want to study more about Xiao Chun. Although he was angry, he couldn't teach Xiao Chun a lesson in front of Ni Gangyin. In any case, Ni Gangyin had already regarded Xiao Chun as one of Yin Jichuan's people. If he were to teach him a lesson, it would weaken their momentum. "Let's have a one-on-one battle. The loser will give up his spot as a disciple of the Origin Sky sect," Ni Gangyin said. "Otherwise, when the time comes, our elders will have to work behind the scenes and compete for resources, letting others take advantage of us for nothing." "Yes." Yin Jichuan stood up and nodded. "Now. That's right. Do you dare? If you're not full, you can eat a little longer." Ni Gangyin said, "No need, let's go." Yin Jichuan snorted. "But what if the loser goes back on his word?" In order to avoid this situation, I specially invited an expert to be the referee. "You will know when the time comes." Ni Gangyin said, "All right, then let's go to the nearby Xingda Stadium. I have booked the whole place," Yin Jichuan said and walked out of the box. Xiao Wuyo and Liang Bufan quickly followed, but Xiao Chun and the others were still eating here. Seeing that they were about to leave, Xiao Chun quickly said, "Hey, don't forget to pay the bill." "Wuyo, go pay the bill." The corner of Yin Jichuan's mouth twitched, and he waved to Xiao Wuyo. "Yes." Although Xiao Wuyo was reluctant, he couldn't ignore Yin Jichuan's words. He turned around and ran to pay the bill. Ni Gangyin saw this scene and said sarcastically, "Young Master Yin, your way of managing your subordinates is really amazing. Do you still have to pay for your subordinates' meals? Why do you talk so much nonsense? Are you a sore loser and trying to find a sense of existence here?" Yin Jichuan said coldly with a frosty face. "We will know who is a sore loser later." Ni Gangyin stopped talking and left the restaurant together. They got into the car and drove away. At this time, there were only 3 people left in the box: Xiao Chun, Wang Peifeng, and Lan Xinxin. Xiao Chun said curiously, "What are they doing? A private duel?" The leader of the other party is Ni Gangyin, a member of the Ni family in Tianfang. The Ni family is ranked 3rd. Although it is not as good as the Yin family, the gap is not big. The 2 families have always been at odds. Wang Peifeng gnawed on a bullwhip and explained casually, "They don't dare to behave atrociously in front of the Wang family. So these 2 families are at odds. This time, the Yuantian sect is recruiting disciples. There is a quota for the Tianfang province, and both families want to fight for it. You know, if a family has a disciple who joins the outer martial arts world, their status will be completely different. If the Yin family succeeds, although they can't surpass the Wang family, at least they can keep the 2nd place. But if the Ni family succeeds, they will replace the Yin family. So both families are very anxious. So that's the situation. Then the two of them can privately decide the quota? Xiao Chun was a little surprised. Under normal circumstances, the two families will definitely try their best to find a way to send gifts to the Yuantian sect, some cultivation resources and money. When the time comes, the one who gives more will be the winner. But in this way, the Yuantian sect will benefit from it. The two families are not fools, so the elders tacitly agreed to this private duel to decide the quota. Wang Peifeng continued, when the time comes, the loser will directly give up, and only one person will sign up. Naturally, that person will join the Yuantian sect. I didn't expect these two families to be so smart. Xiao Chun understood after hearing this. He thought that these two young masters were fighting because they couldn't accept each other. But it turned out that there was such a deep influence behind it. Of course they are not stupid, but this matter has nothing to do with us. We are just watching the fun. Let's continue eating, Wang Peifeng said and continued eating. Xiao Chun looked at Wang Peifeng. After all, this guy was a disciple of a big family. Although he usually looked like a tiger, he actually understood everything. Tiger was just a tiger, but his brain was not stupid. Now it seemed that the temptation of the outer martial arts sects to the Zhenwu families was not small. If they could form a relationship with the outer martial arts sects, the family status would instantly rise. No wonder the Shen family and the Wang family were on completely different levels. After eating, Xiao Chun also planned to go back. Wang's siblings stop acting. I'm going back now. As for the results of the examination, it's true. Xian, you don't need to worry and doubt anymore. Isn't there still Yin Jichuan? Lan Xinxin blurted out. He was chosen by the outer martial arts sects, so he went to the Yuantian sect. He won't have time to harass you. Xiao Chun shrugged. What if he is not chosen? Lan Xinxin was a little worried. You saw it, he is more annoying than my brother. Hey? How am I annoying? Didn't you tell me to act like this? I even deliberately practiced it for a long time. Wang Peifeng immediately listened after listening to it. You don't know what's good for you. I mean, he is more annoying than my brother's acting. Lan Xinxin stuck out her tongue. Today I actually wanted to take you for a physical examination, so I asked my brother to lie, but Yin Jichuan is real. Well, then let's go see in a while and see if that guy won or lost. If he lost, then we will think of other ways. Xiao Chun thought for a while and said, to be honest, he was a soft-hearted person. Since Lan Xinxin's matter was involved, it was not good to give up halfway. After all, they knew each other and had some ambiguous feelings. I think it's fine. I just want to watch the fun. Wang Peifeng agreed. So the three of them left the restaurant and drove directly to Qingda Stadium. The stadium was closed today, and there were only two people guarding the door. Xiao Chun glanced at them. It was Yin Jichuan's underling Liang Bufan, and the other was Inai Gongyin's underling. Seeing Xiao Chun and the other two coming over, Liang Bufan was stunned. Why are you here? I came to cheer for Yin Jichuan, Lan Xinxin said. Ah, then come in quickly. Liang Bufan was overjoyed when he heard it. With Lan Xinxin cheering for Yin Jichuan, wouldn't our chances of winning be much higher? Inai Gongyin's underling glanced at them and didn't say much. After all, this wasn't a group fight. It didn't matter how many people there were. If they were willing to cheer, then go. The three of them entered the stadium. Just as they walked to the arena of the small stadium, they heard a fierce quarrel inside. Inai Gangyin, you are shameless. I obviously won, but you suddenly counterattacked and caught me off guard. How can this be considered as your victory? Yin Jichuan shouted angrily. This isn't what I said, it's what the referee said. Inai Gongyin's voice was very proud. At that time, although you beat me to the ground, the referee didn't make a judgment, and there was no countdown, so I could counterattack. Now that I have turned defeat into victory, the referee has started the countdown, so it is my victory. Xiao Chun was stunned when he heard this at the door. What's going on? It sounds like Yin Jichuan has already won. But Inai Gangyin colluded with the referee to play some tricks. This won't do. If Yin Jichuan can't enter the Yuantian sect, then won't I have to pretend to be Lan Xinxin's boyfriend in the future? Thinking of this, Xiao Chun couldn't let it go, and directly rushed in with big strides. Enai Gangin, this is the referee you invited, so naturally, he is biased towards you. Today's matter, no matter how you look at it, no matter what, I still win. Yin Jichuan was so angry that he pointed at Enai Gangin and trembled. However, Enai Gangin was calm in the midst of chaos, and he didn't have the consciousness of being shameless at all. He said indifferently, "What? You dare to question the decision of the experts of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Well, if you say it is biased, then go find a place to reason. You lost, and you still don't admit it. I think you want to go against the Supernatural Investigation Bureau." That's right, this is the decision of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Who dares to question it? Could it be that your Yin family doesn't want to stay in the Tianfang province? A cold voice sounded, but it sounded a little familiar to Xiao Chun. Chapter 761. Yin Jichuan looked at the expert from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, who was invited by Enai Gangin. He was so angry that he trembled and couldn't speak. If it was an ordinary employee, he wouldn't have swallowed his anger and would have made a fuss. However, he didn't dare to do so because of the other party's identity. The consequences of offending the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were quite serious. He heard that the Gao family was uprooted because they offended the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He could only endure such a disaster for the Yin family. However, he wasn't satisfied. Once he admitted defeat, he would definitely withdraw. After all, it would be more serious if he broke the promise in front of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Can't I question it? Since when does the Supernatural Investigation Bureau have the final say? Just when Yin Jichuan was hesitating, he suddenly heard another voice. He turned around in confusion and couldn't help but be stunned. It was Lan Xinxin, her boyfriend, and Wang Peifeng walking in. However, Yin Jichuan's expression changed after hearing their words. Are these three people here to harm me? Enai Gangin now thought that they were all on his side. If they questioned the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, wouldn't it be the same as him questioning them? Wouldn't that make the Yin family and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau enemies? King. The expert referee from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was halfway through his sentence when he turned around and saw Xiao Chun. He immediately made a ga sound and swallowed the words in his throat. Yang, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, why are you here? Pang Funda, you're pretty awesome, aren't you? You went to the Chief family to show off, and then you came here to show off. One day isn't enough for you, right? Xiao Chun looked at Pang Funda with a faint smile. You're here to be a referee? Can you represent the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Besides, the Jinwu family's matter should be Team B's matter, right? You're the leader of the newbie group. Why are you showing off here? Pang Funda's face suddenly turned pale, and cold sweat flowed down. He knew about Wang Chake's incident. He had to betray Song Billion to save his life. However, he couldn't betray others. Pang Funda could only admit his mistake with a bitter face. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, I thought that since the Enai family invited me, I came to be a witness. Isn't the Supernatural Investigation Bureau serving these martial artists? Oh, then how did you decide? Tell me about it. Xiao Chun asked. It's like this. Enai Gangin broke the rules. Yin Jichuan had clearly won, but he suddenly counterattacked after losing. This is a heinous crime. I suggest we investigate the Enai family. There's something wrong with their characters. Pang Funda said loudly. He had no choice but to give in. Even an idiot knew that Xia Zhili and Yang Jiannan had the final say in the Supernatural Investigation Department. Even Ling Tian had to respect their opinions sometimes. Enai Gangin lowered his head. Although he was unwilling, he didn't expect Yin Jichuan to be so awesome. The person he had eaten with, and was mocked by him, was actually the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. My plan was in vain. Not only that, but I was also hated by Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. The loss outweighed the gain. However, he did not dare to refute. He was not stupid. Since Pang Funda had already admitted defeat, wouldn't he be courting death if he jumped out again? After thinking for a while, a man should know when to yield and when to stand tall. He could only force a smile and said, Young Master Yen, I lost. I gave up the qualification to be a disciple of the Yuan-Tian sect. I really didn't expect that the Yen family's face was so big that you could even invite the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. As expected of the second largest family in Tianfang. This. Yen Jichuan was actually a little dumbfounded. Why was Lan Xinxin's boyfriend the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Previously, he was still acting in front of him, telling him that he had something to ask of him in Tianfang province. However, with his identity, he didn't need him at all. No wonder he said that he couldn't have a part-time job. It was because of his identity. Thinking of what he said before, Yen Jichuan was a little embarrassed. He put on airs in front of him, but in the end, he still came to help him. Now he felt that Xiao Chun was really a good person. He was very down to earth. It must be because of his enthusiasm before, which made Xiao Chun feel that he was a good person. That's why he came to help him. Thinking of this, Yen Jichuan blushed a little. He looked at Xiao Chun and said, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, thank you for upholding justice for me. Oh, didn't you treat me to a meal? Besides, I just happened to pass by. Xiao Chun waved his hand indifferently. Right, if you go to Yuan-Tian sect, can you still be with Lan Xinxin? Aha, I was just joking before. I and Lan Xinxin aren't a good match at all. I don't deserve her. Yen Jichuan said quickly. Oh, then I don't have to consider it. Xiao Chun nodded and turned to Pang Fengda. What are you still doing here? Waiting to eat tea? No, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. Then I'm leaving. Pang Fengda lowered his head, ran out of the stadium in a panic and disappeared. Xiao Chun looked at his back and frowned slightly. The management of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau seemed to be very messy. He didn't know what the mysterious bureau chief was doing. Why didn't he appear even once? Xiao Chun had joined for so long, but he didn't even see his shadow. It would be strange if the management was good. Now the deputy bureau chiefs were doing their own things. Ling Tian could barely suppress everyone, but his control wasn't too strong. They were all discussing. In such a situation, it would create a group of parasites who would seek personal gain. However, these things didn't have much to do with Xiao Chun. He felt that he had a clear conscience towards the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Even if he killed Yang Jiannan, in Xiao Chun's eyes, there was a reason for it. Moreover, the contributions he made afterward were enough to make up for it. However, if the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wanted to be on the right track, and wanted to intimidate the martial arts world, then they needed a strong leader to guide them. Now many people only cared about their own gains and losses, which wasn't good. However, these things couldn't be changed by Xiao Chun. Although he was the deputy bureau chief, he couldn't order people like Song Billion. And I ganging, right? Don't use these crooked ways in the future. In fact, you might not lose in a fair duel. I think your strength is only about the same as Yen Jichuan's. With Pang Fengda as your trump card, you won't do your best. Xiao Chun looked at him and said, I'll let this matter go. It's also our internal problem. I will talk to Team B, and we won't vent our anger on the Ni family because of this matter. But after this, it depends on your performance. I understand. Thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. Ni Gangyin said very gratefully. Pang Fengda was so scared, which was enough to show that this Deputy Bureau Chief Yang had real power. It was easy for him to touch the Ni family. He was thinking about how to ask for forgiveness, but he didn't expect the other party to brush it off so easily. You can go. Xiao Chun waved his hand. Yes. Ni Gangyin quickly left with his men. At this moment, only Xiao Chun, Yen Jichuan, and the others were left in the large gymnasium. That, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang Yen Jichuan was a little scared when he saw that Xiao Chun didn't let him go. Xian doesn't like you. What do you think? Xiao Chun looked at Yen Jichuan and asked. This a fair and graceful lady is a gentleman's desire. But since Xian doesn't like me, then forget it. I will definitely not disturb her in the future. Yen Jichuan quickly said. And go back and get ready. Go to that Yuan-Tian sect. Xiao Chun nodded, indicating that he could leave. Yen Jichuan hurriedly said goodbye. Wang Peifeng looked at Xiao Chun with some admiration. I didn't know you were so manly. I thought you were a weak chicken before. I didn't expect. Xiao Chen smiled and said, now that the trouble is solved, xang, can I go? Oh, yes. Lan Xinxin was a little unhappy. She didn't expect the problem to be solved so easily. But her problem was not solved yet. She was not sure whether Xiao Chen was crippled by her. But looking at Xiao Chen's look as if he didn't need her to take responsibility, Lan Xinxin was also very confused. Was Xiao Chen really okay? Or was he embarrassed to say it? With a belly full of worries, Lan Xinxin and Xiao Chen left the gymnasium together. Where are you going? Lan Xinxin asked. I'm going to leave Tianfang. I'm going to investigate some things in the outer martial arts world. Xiao Chen said. Then when can you come back again? When Lan Xinxin heard that Xiao Chen was going to leave, her face was immediately full of disappointment. Not necessarily. Let's see if things go smoothly. Xiao Chen said. But it doesn't matter. If you have anything, you can call me at any time. If I have time, I will definitely come back. Oh, okay then. Lan Xinxin nodded faintly and got on the beetle. Shall I send you? No, I also have to prepare. Xiao Chen refused Lan Xinxin's kindness because he didn't know where to go now. It was easy to say to go to the outer martial arts world, but it was not easy to do. First of all, the outer martial arts world was a level, not a place. The sects of the outer martial arts world were distributed in many areas. Xiao Chen didn't just say that he would go to a place. At present, his first task was to find out where the Devil Gate Grand Conference was held. However, even the most basic information was not available in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He had to rely on Xiao Chen to find out himself. Xiao Chen thought of Yi Xiaoya. He was going to go back to Songning and discuss something with Yi Xiaoya. If possible, it would be much easier with Yi Xiaoya taking him there. Besides, didn't Yi Xiaoya also participate in the Saintess election? Okay. Lan Xinxin didn't force it anymore. She didn't know why she wanted to make it up to Xiao Chen at the beginning, but now she was a little reluctant to leave Xiao Chen. She felt that she was suddenly missing something when she said goodbye to Xiao Chen. Looking at the back of Xiao Chen, Wang Peifeng said, Xinxin, people say that it's easy for a woman to pursue a man. It doesn't seem to be the case. Is your method wrong? You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.